Is that our intro music?
Yeah, that's the intro. That's just an instrumental though.
So we can do that.
Yeah, we can do that. We can play whatever music we want, as long as it's not Def Jam's music and Sony's music.
Def Jam said, "Get your hand out my pocket."
Yeah, get your hand out my pocket, motherfucker.
Get your hand out my pocket.
Unless you put money in it.
Yeah, basically. And we already know they got enough money as is.
How do you repost something you already posted? I don't know. There we go.
So on my profile, it should be on yours too, but mine's is public, so you should see that. Remy, you gonna get your shares in?
Yes.
Can I pin this now?
Oh yeah, pin.
Yeah,
I forgot about pinning. Let's pin. Okay.
I can't never find a place to share. Okay, there we go. I got it.
We look so good.
Do we?
I'm looking at the Facebook. There you go, Facebook version. Looking long professional. Let's get these shares up. Welcome everyone who is joining early. Y'all know how we do. Come on in, grab your drink, grab your food, grab your snack, whatever it is that you want to eat and smoke on and drink on. If you're in here early, go ahead and get those likes out the way, get those shares out the way, so that we don't have to continue to ask you throughout the show. We appreciate y'all.
Get all the bullshit from today out the way and come kick it with us. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good talk. What are we talking about?
Things that have changed in our lifetime.
Things that have changed.
And it is quite a bit.
Jesus Christ, so much has changed. It's a different world.
It's a different world. I know y'all remember that one.
Yeah.
I know Ebony does.
Aretha sang that, right?
Aretha?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think she ended up doing the second version.
Really?
She wasn't the original version.
You sure? Well, the one I remember.
Look that up.
Google it.
You can't be just
Google
talking
it.
facts like that. You can't be putting shit on Aretha.
Listen.
Hold on, let me see.
I swear that's Aretha.
Let's see who sang.
You might in the comments know if that's Aretha on the Different World theme song.
What was it? Who
Somebody
sang
know.
what?
A Different World.
Oh, the Different World theme song.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Hey.
It says Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
Your boy be knowing stuff.
I don't know who. I saw that somewhere. I think it was on Jada Pickett's interview where she was doing Different World, like guests. She had all the guests on. Like,
Yeah.
I know my parents.
Hey,
love
Cassandra.
me.
What's up?
What up, Cassandra?
What's up, Casamigos?
Casamigos.
Is that what you call her?
Yeah, I call her Casamigos. That's my nickname I gave her. It just made too much sense, you know.
It does. It
Casamigos,
relates.
Casamigos drinking. You know?
I thought it was great.
She didn't like it too
I don't
much.
think
though.
tequila
She
is her
wouldn't
drink, though.
She wouldn't introduce herself as Casamigos.
No, she wouldn't. She didn't
She was
like
like,
it.
I'm Casamigos.
She was like, "Hi, I'm Cass." What up, Helen?
What up?
I am getting my shares
What's
out the
up,
way,
beautiful
guys.
people?
So if y'all are in here, come on, pull up with your drink.
Okay, so somebody said Dawn Lewis sang the theme song to A Different
I
World.
thought so too. But it does say Aretha Franklin on
She
this
did the
thing.
recap. She did after third season. She came on and she
Yeah,
started singing.
the most prominent one, the one I remember the most is the Aretha one.
Yeah, she
But,
was.
I don't remember.
It says how did she end up singing the theme song?
So are we talking about the original when like Denise was on there?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch that. That was like the first season. I remember from like maybe the second, third season on. What's up, Selena? Selena C in the building.
Selena, previous co-host for the month of March.
Shout out to Selena.
If you
Shout out
want-
to Selena.
If you want to check her out on old episodes of 8 Method Podcast, just check out the last 4 episodes. They're on Spotify and all the platforms and stuff.
All the ladies who paved the way for me. I
Yeah.
had to let us see it.
Hey.
That's true. You
Okay,
think about it.
wait,
Cassandra was
was
the last
before her.
was before Selena. She was the
Yeah.
last one for the Cassandra did a whole season though.
Mhm. She was a soldier.
She was a
You know-
soldier.
So they walk so you can run. That's what you're saying. You about to run this motherfucker. She about to.
No,
about
I
to
get to
sprint.
fly. So
She about to fly.
yeah, Cassie walked so that Selena could run.
So you
Selena
could fly.
runs so that I could fly.
Hey, I like that. That's black women helping black women. I like
That's
it.
right.
I appreciate that.
Lift as we climb.
Feels good to be the foundation block of
Guess okay.
allowing
So
that to happen.
I had to keep reading. Guess how Aretha Franklin got on Different World?
How'd she get on there?
Debbie Allen. She was friends with Debbie Allen.
Oh,
Who's Debbie Allen?
She was the creator of Different World.
She's the creator.
He just
Okay.
asked me who Debbie Allen was.
Well, I'm supposed to know these things.
You should know
I don't
who
know.
Debbie Allen is.
I don't know all the things. There's so many things that I don't
So-
know.
Debbie Allen is an iconic
Yeah.
black woman.
So what else is she known for besides?
So
A Different
very
World?
first, what she was known for is Fame. She was a
Fame?
choreo. You don't even know what Fame
Come
is.
on, come
Jesus
on.
Christ.
Come on. What is that? Is that
I'm gonna live.
Broadway?
Well, it was
sounds
on
like-
Broadway, but it was a show back in, I want to say the early, it was like 70s and 80s about
Why would I know
Juilliard.
that? Why would I know that?
We go
I don't
back in
know.
the day and watch.
Go
that.
look,
Yeah.
see?
But I know A Different World. I ain't going to watch no damn Fame.
So-
So she
So
was
what-
on Different World.
Mhm.
She's sisters with Felicia Rashad, who
Okay.
was Claire
Who's
Huxtable.
Felicia Rashad? No, this-
I'll
Wow.
slap you.
Yeah, no.
You're asking for violence right now.
Hey, who is
So
Bill Cosby?
Jada did a red table talk with like the prominent people from Different World,
Mhm.
and it was a really great conversation and very
Right on.
nostalgic.
Yeah.
you know. So
It was good.
all right,
Okay,
man.
well, I'm gonna go watch Fame tonight.
Okay, let me get
No,
this
you're not.
together. You're definitely not.
I'm watching
I don't
it.
even know if it's streaming. Okay, I'm ready.
You say you know if it's streaming?
No, I wonder if Fame is streaming.
Oh,
Ain't
yeah, I
nothing
don't
from the
know.
70s and 80s on the streaming services,
You don't think so?
unless it's movies, but not TV shows. I don't think.
Hey, let's do a podcast, man.
Let's do a
Let's do it.
podcast.
Let's do a podcast episode.
Take a seat and put your feet up. We gon' meet up. Sit with me and sip some tea with Remy Mulatto. Give me bottles of Hennessy and Moscato. They had enough already, but there's plenty to follow. I stay poetic, but Jay poetic, remaining effective. Conversation getting heavy, staying respected, playing the record, maintaining collective. Saying what you think, it ain't no place for rejecting. I claim it and meant it. It's mostly everybody talking honestly over drinks. Tell me what you think. It's mostly everybody talking honestly over drinks. So tell me what you think. It's mostly everybody talking honestly over drinks. Tell me what you think. It's mostly everybody talking honestly over drinks. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think.
Welcome to our Method Podcast. I'm Jay Noetic.
I'm Remy Mulatto.
And I'm Ebony Fire.
This season, there's shit on our minds.
And shit to talk.
And shit that needs to be said.
And the best way to talk that shit
Is to have mostly everybody
talking honestly over drinks.
drinks.
And that's what we call a
Hey.
motherfucking method. Hold on, I always forget the air horn. Hey man, hey, welcome to a Method Podcast. If it's your first time joining us, make sure if you're watching it on YouTube and Spotify, hit the subscribe button and notify button so that you can get notified when we
Yeah.
drop a new motherfucking episode.
Yeah, stay a while. Just
If you
come
are
through. It's a
watching this
vibe.
live, we appreciate y'all, man, for coming through on Wednesday at 7:30.
Welcome.
It's always a good time.
Welcome. This is season, like we said, we got shit on our minds. But this month, we have a new featured co-host. We're talking about Miss Ebony Fire. Say what's
Give me
up.
some
What's
air
going
horns.
on? Air
Hello,
horns.
hello.
Air horns and applause.
How you feeling?
Hello. Very good.
Feeling good?
Yep.
Are you-
Feeling very good. This wine is actually really nice.
Hey,
Some
shout out
nice.
to Casamigos. We finally broke out the baby blue. That,
broke it out
Did she buy
for
that?
Christmas.
Yeah, he said it was a gift.
It was from the White Elephant.
Oh, the
Yeah.
White Elephant.
Finally, I cracked it open for Ebony.
It's
Yep.
good.
cracked
It's
it
really good.
open.
I like it.
Where you from, Ebony?
I I grew up in
Where you
Connecticut.
claim?
Yeah.
Connecticut.
Connecticut is where I grew up.
That's not a state.
Oh my God. First Debbie Allen and now Connecticut. Jesus Christ. So I grew up in Connecticut. Then I moved to North Carolina, lived there for a while, lived in Japan, lived in Atlanta. Lived
Oh yeah, I
in
forgot you had to
DC.
stay in Japan.
Yeah, 5
Nice.
years. 5 years in Japan, then DC for 4, and now I've been in Tampa for almost 8.
Right on. You gonna
Tampa's
stay?
home.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh,
But
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
She said yeah.
Woo.
She said yeah.
we'll get there.
All right.
Yeah, I actually met Ebony through Cassandra.
Yep, when I
and
first moved here.
And so
Mhm.
it's been great to have a part of my circle. So I'm excited to have her on because she did have her own podcast for one moment.
Mm-hmm.
And
we had the Pretty Good Girls podcast.
Pretty Good Girls podcast.
Where our producer was Mr. J No at it. And it was a good.
You know?
Me and Cassie did that, and that was a really nice run. But we just ultimately decided that it just wasn't for us.
You had a lot of shit going on too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And then this was right before the pandemic started. And we ended the podcast like literally like a month before the pandemic started.
Crazy how we didn't know what was coming, right?
I know.
But now you're here.
But now I'm here.
Hey, method mood, bad mood, good mood, great mood. How's your week going? Anyone can start that. Doesn't matter who.
He just refilled his cup, so
I'll go first, man. My mood is great this week.
Okay.
It's great. I'm on a short week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually off tomorrow and Friday. So my job. So anytime I get it, like extra days off from work, it's always going to be a great week. You know?
So you got like a 5-day weekend,
4-day weekend.
4-day weekend.
What's that?
You took the days?
No. So during tax season, our biggest client for my company, in my department, is Jackson Hewitt.
Okay.
And so we work a lot of extra hours during that prime tax season.
So comp time.
Yeah. So they was like, since y'all work so many hours, we're gonna give it to you on the back end so you can have off. So it's just my time now to have my Thursday, Friday off. Beautiful. So yeah, I'm looking forward to. I think I'm gonna go to the beach on Friday.
Nice.
I saw the people coming out. Is that Tracy?
Oh, that's Saturday.
Oh, okay.
That's Saturday. So I'm feeling good, man.
That's dope because a lot of companies be like, "Yeah, you just worked extra. We appreciate that. We'll see you on Monday to Friday, every 9 to 5 every day."
I was right. I wasn't expecting it. I don't think any of us were expecting it. So to have it, it's definitely a great mood.
More jobs should do that, and also 4-day work weeks.
It should. Everything should be a 4-day work.
4-day work weeks. Optional work from home.
Yeah, I would work harder. You know, get some more stuff done and take a long vacation.
Ebony, what's your mood this week? Bad mood, good mood, great mood.
It's not a great one. It's been
not a great one.
No, I've had a rough week. I don't like to say bad mood, but it has definitely been a really difficult.
Just work related.
Work related. Yeah. I got some personal shit going on, and so everything is converging. But I'm here.
Is it the full moon? That's what we have.
No, and I did check for retrograde, but we still have another week or two
so
before retrograde. No, it's not retrograde. It's just lifing.
Moon, though.
Last night it was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. But this should have started happening before the full moon.
But hopefully the podcast is going to help bring that mood up.
Change the mood a little bit.
Remy?
Yeah, that moon been wilding. This week has been garbage, but it's getting better. God damn it.
Everyone's having a garbage.
We halfway through the week. We doing a podcast. We about to talk some shit. I'm ready.
Yay, me too.
Well, then let's get into what we call a method movie. So, method movie, method heads, as y'all know, I'm going to play a movie clip for y'all and for the table. They do not get to see the video, but if you're watching this on Spotify or YouTube and post edits, you will see the video. Everyone else watching in real motherfucking time only hear the audio.
Appreciate y'all.
You need to guess it before one another, and so on and so on. Now, my co-hosts have been on it and on it and on it every week. So I'm going to try my best to really stump them this time.
Okay.
So I dug deep into the vault, but I still think it's kind of easy. All right. Let me move my.
Oh, so we can't see.
Let me change this over here.
Oh, look at that.
To this side.
Well, don't let the camera see it.
They can't see it either.
Oh, okay.
All right. What movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm upside down.
Oh no, I can't look at the.
Jay don't know how to work an iPad.
Listen, man, it's all brand new to me.
All the Android stuff
is this
in his life?
Leave me alone.
Yo, baby!
How about a preview? It's my birthday.
Dream on!
Yeah, I guess the movie too in the comments.
It's looking really slow tonight.
Pretty Woman.
Oh,
Damn!
Oh.
We're gonna let it play out for a little bit.
That was Kit.
I wouldn't have got that for a long time.
Wow.
We say who, we say when, we say how much. Do you think I look like Carol Channing? No, I love this look. It's very glamorous.
That's crazy you got that so early.
Oh, yo, catch
You must
this.
like that movie.
This scene is iconic though.
Wait a minute. upload a screen.
Do you know this movie?
I've never seen this movie.
No,
you
that's
serious?
rent.
You've never seen Pretty Woman.
I also don't know who Debbie Allen
Don't
is.
take less than 100.
You're struggling as well.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is Pretty Woman. This came out in 1990, y'all. 1990.
Work it, baby.
Ebony heard it just on The Voice, and she was like,
I
"I
was
wonder what
Kid
this
DeLuca.
is."
I know exactly who it was.
Who in that? Sandra Bullock?
So
No, Julia Roberts.
Julia
man.
Roberts, Richard Gere are in it.
yeah.
Those are
The
two
guy
biggest
from
stars.
and the guy
Richard
from
Gere, that's right.
Seinfeld,
Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander.
So yeah, so 1990, well, first of all, congratulations to you for getting that. I would give you a hand clap because I thought I was gonna stop y'all, but Ebony probably was like, "Fuck that shit."
Yeah,
You don't know where it
she
is.
beat the comments, man. The comments ain't had
Yeah.
shit. What y'all doing in the comments?
So do y'all know what the tagline was for this movie?
What?
The tagline was, "Who knew it was so much fun to be a hooker?"
Oof. Yikes.
Wow.
Yikes!
Come on, talk about
This
things
had
that
to-
have
this
changed in our time.
This had for real. This had to be the first movie about a hooker come up. Like I can't think of any other movie promoting like a prostitute, a hooker, and her just having a man marrying a hooker, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would only ever happen with a white woman.
Only.
Couldn't be a black
Only.
Only ever happen with a white woman.
Nah, the,
So-
the black version is Hustle and Flow.
No, I was thinking about this. I was like,
Or
what's the
Players
black
Club.
version? Players
Shit.
Club.
Yeah.
I think it'd be
But
Players
what about
Club.
Girl Six?
Oh, Girl Six. I
haven't
don't
seen it.
think I saw Girl Six.
You never
haven't
saw
seen it.
Girl Six? She's
That's
a
Spike
call
Lee?
Who
girl.
was in Girl Six?
That was Spike Lee's movie.
I never saw Girl Six.
Okay, you
Oh,
can
we
add
gotta
that
see
to your
it
list
then.
of things that you're not.
Maybe
gonna
that's
For
watch.
real.
he probably was like, this is gonna be the black Pretty Woman, and
So-
we haven't seen it.
so
I
I
No,
haven't
but
see
it's
seen
not.
Yeah.
It's not the same. The Girl Six is it's a little bit more
Different.
autonomy over her
Her
her body. Yeah,
So this.
she has a lot of sex, but she has a lot of
Ju-
sex because she wants to
'Cause
have
she
a lot of
wants to.
sex. Yeah, it's not for money.
Oh, okay. So she's
That
not a
wasn't a recent
prostitute
one,
then.
right?
There was a reboot.
That was the reboot.
There was a
that was the
reboot
reboot
of it
Okay.
recently, yep.
The reboot, I know. I remember the reboot.
Yeah,
It's like a show
and there was Mars.
or a movie.
She hate me. Shit, you're
She
right.
Hate
She
Me.
hate me. Yeah, not Girl
Whoever,
Six.
that's-
whoever
Girl
Facebook
Six.
That's
user
something
is,
different.
Who's the Facebook?
I know
why does
she
it show
hate
up as
me.
Facebook user.
they didn't give us permission.
She
to
hate me is
see
about
them.
a dude selling his sperm.
He just acting up.
No,
So
all right,
IMDb
whatever.
gave Pretty Woman
Yes, Girl Six,
7.1.
phone sex worker.
What did you think of the movie? Like, so you legit never saw it, Remy? Ever?
Can't
Like,
believe
no
you've
jokes
seen it, never
aside?
saw
Girl Six.
No,
No.
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman. No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, so what did you give? So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you
I
give?
love that movie.
Is it one of your favorite movies of all time? But I don't know if I would give it. I mean, I guess a
It's
7 is
up
about
there.
a good.
7 is good. 7 is it's a strong movie.
I mean, in 1990, I was only 13, so I don't remember a whole lot of it. So I had to go back and watch it as an adult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So-
I'm gonna watch this weekend.
Why you lying,
He's
man?
lying. What the fuck?
So the budget was $14 million. How
Wow.
much do you think it made? It was $14 million.
Damn,
100
back in the
million is some
80s?
bullshit.
90s.
90s.
It made at least 50.
100 million.
Yeah, I think about
It
100.
made $178 million.
178 million.
Almost
Okay.
178.
Crazy.
So what do you think the number one movie was in 1990?
What
Yeah.
in that what month did it come out?
I don't have that
I'll
down.
say this is the number one movie that year.
Yeah, number one movie that year. So
That wasn't it.
if Ghost did,
I guess it wouldn't
I mean, I just gave it away. So it was
Oh,
actually
Ghost.
Ghost.
go.
So Ghost did $217 million.
Well, I like this
Ghost
movie
was-
more than Ghost.
I think I like Ghost better.
Did you?
I
Did you
like
see
Ghost better.
Ghost is dumb.
What is
that movie is
That
dumb.
the whole pot
That movie is
situation with the
dumb.
clay.
Classic,
Ghost is
classic.
dumb.
Like when he was a
Yeah, no, there's
Yeah,
some
it
classic
was-
scenes, but that movie is dumb.
Patrick Swayze. It's probably
That
Patrick
movie is
Swayze.
so-
Rest in peace, Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, that was like
Oh,
his
damn, he
one of
did
his
that.
better movies though.
That was a good movie for him, but
I thought
I
Ghost
still
like
like.
it.
Between that and like what was that other movie
Well,
he was in?
Well,
People
you know,
love?
Pretty Woman was a romance comedy, so
Yeah.
it's more good, feel good.
Mhm.
And I feel like Ghost is just I don't know what genre that would
It's
be.
that's a love
Drama?
Story.
It would be a drama, I
It's a love
guess.
story.
But it also had like this weird, like sci-fi kind of thing to
Yeah,
it, with
yeah.
the, you know,
Dumb.
like
it was so dumb.
jumping out of the
I thought it was
body.
That,
and
that
those-
movie would work, I think, like in a different era. They didn't really have the special effects.
No,
to make that
they
shit.
did
Yeah,
not.
they did.
They
That shit
did
got
not.
weird
They
once they
didn't.
just started doing the special effects.
They didn't. So things that happened in 1990.
Okay.
In Switzerland, Tim Berners-Lee publishes his formal proposal for the World Wide Web in November of 1990.
Wow.
So the
It
draft of the
was the
internet?
draft of the internet in 1990 in Switzerland. And he initially created his idea for the World Wide Web was a way for scientists to send documents and to one another. He wasn't thinking about what it is today.
Okay,
Right.
he was
You
just
know what
trying
I
to
mean?
advance research.
Right.
Trying to advance research for his
Yo, that's funny.
scientists.
So it started
Crazy.
with smart people trying to communicate, and now it's just the whole dumbass world.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
goofy
Should've
ass
gave y'all
world
niggas the internet.
talking shit. Look at
Never.
Twitter.
It
All
said,
that
it
bullshit.
said his proposal outlined a plan for a system that would use hypertext, web pages, browsers, and web servers to share documents across the internet with other
Wow.
scientists.
Wow.
So yeah, that was the dawn of the
It should have
internet.
stayed. It should have stayed that.
Yeah.
It
For
should have
sure.
evolved. It should've
Well, I
became
don't know, because if we had not had that idea birthed and created, we would not have a podcast.
We can still do a
Ideally.
podcast.
In our studio, in our in the
We
basement.
distribute videotapes.
Yeah.
Passing around
Yeah,
newsletters.
man.
So Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1990,
Okay.
which spawned the Kuwait War, and then also the Hubble Space Telescope was launched
Where's
in
Kuwait?
1990.
Is that in
Middle
the United
East.
States?
Sir.
Don't pay him no attention. Well, congratulations to everyone who got it right. Congratulations to Ebbing Five for getting the movie. I
shout
guess
out
next
to
week I
Ebbing
would have to
Five.
do a better job.
Did you give her a hand clap for that?
I gave her a hand clap. I
You're
gave her a
getting
hand
all the
clap.
hand claps.
I got it quick too.
You got it really
You got it
quick.
so quick.
That,
Really
that,
good.
It would've
that
took me,
scene
like-
is very iconic. That is Kit DeLuca, and I don't even remember Julia Roberts' name in that movie.
I don't know.
But
it
Kit
either.
DeLuca
It
was,
was
her.
Pretty Woman. Her name
No,
was
it
Pretty
wasn't
Woman.
fucking Pretty.
I don't remember Kit DeLuca.
That was the
Remy,
I
let's
don't
get
know who Kit
into
DeLuca is.
Method Weekly.
Method Weekly. Coming up, right?
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
This week for the Method Weekly, I want to talk about two Black women.
Two Black women.
Because why can't we? There's always a good day to talk about Black women. So
100%.
the first one is, we'll start with Black China first.
Okay.
What's going on with Black China?
So
Let's
Black
talk about
China is a rapper. I feel like she first got her fame doing rap. And she's also has a child by one Kardashian brother, Rob.
Mm.
She has another child who's a little bit older. His name is King. And then the daughter's name is Dream. Anyway, so she's kind of like attached to the Kardashian family, came up
Gotcha.
into fame through the Kardashians.
I don't know why I thought she was like a reality, hip hop. What was that show?
Like Love and Hip Hop?
Yeah.
Because
no, I
most
don't
people
think
know her from like the Kardashians.
Yeah, she
Gotcha.
know her through the
thing,
Kardashian
and they
family.
are
Okay.
just
So
reality
she was a
people.
rapper, and then she kind of got attached to the Kardashian people, and you know how they are with like aesthetics. And
Might
Shalina
have
was
been
saying that
stripper.
she was a stripper as well. So
May or
she
not.
also, like, in part of her fame, she decided that she was going to go and have like this OnlyFans account. And she was making a lot of money apparently on OnlyFans. But over the
I didn't know
years,
that.
she did all of this different cosmetic surgery, like
Yeah.
ass and BBL and face fillers and cheek fillers and
She
all
was
this
starting
type
to
of
look
cosmetic.
strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
She started like morphing her face, but it's on brand for the Kardashians, right? Like they are like big into cosmetic surgery and all types of like body modifications. So recently, I guess for her 34th birthday, she decided that she was going to get baptized, that she was getting saved.
Mm.
And as a part of that process, she decided that she wanted to take back her image. She
And redo everything.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And she's been chronicling it online. Like she videotaped herself getting the fillers removed from her face, but apparently
she looks better.
she looks so much
She
better.
looks a lot better.
But you have to do this like thing where you melt the fillers away. So
Oh, wow.
you have to get like injections in her face to dissolve the fillers in her
That's
cheeks,
crazy.
and the fillers in her chin. But she just looks so much happier. She now does not go by Black China anymore. She goes by
her real name, right?
yeah, which
China
is Angela White.
Angela White.
Angela what?
White.
Angela White. So I guess what I wanted to talk to you guys about this one is like, so there's a lot of people who are cheering her on.
Uh-huh.
I haven't seen a lot of negativity about it or whatever. But there's some people like, oh, well, she was making money when she was on OnlyFans. Like, why would she take away her income streams? Like, what do you think about like this whole the body modifications and then the decision to like reverse all of that?
Well, I think that like I'm okay with body modifications to a certain extent. Like I don't knock people who get it. But I do think there's a fine line between loving yourself. I think we did a whole podcast last season about like what is self-love, you know, and if you get body modifications, do you really love yourself? So I'm happy that she's happy and that she's removing that stuff. But a lot of people can't afford to remove that stuff once they get it, you know? And so I prefer to see Black women as natural as possible.
Right.
But I am okay with like breast implants. But for me, when I see like the cheeks done and the ass is done, and I can't personally, for me personally, I don't think it's a good look. So
I mean, her face was looking very boxy at one point.
I actually didn't know who Black China was until recently because I don't really pay attention to the Kardashians. So so yeah, so I'm happy for her. I mean, I have one other issue is like, I don't know, that's another thing. Remy, how you feel about body modifications?
How do I feel about it? I mean, I feel like there's a limit. There should be a limit. Like, I get that if you want a little more or something, or you feel very, very insecure about something, you don't necessarily just want to be miserable, especially in this age where you can do something about it. So you might as well, if you can, do something about it. Just make sure you do it in a smart way. Do your research. Make sure you go to the right person. Don't get some bullshit like the ass shots and stuff that they be getting that be fucking their asses up and the booty don't even jiggle no more. Like, don't do that shit. But something that you feel will make you feel better, and then figure out what that limit is. Because if you go too far, coming back is gonna be difficult. You're gonna end up over the cliff. So
you know, Selena in the comments made a comment about K Michelle. So are you familiar with K Michelle? K Michelle, when she first came out, I thought she was beautiful. And of course, it's not about what I think about anybody's body. It's about what they feel comfortable with. But she's modified her behind so much that it's that thigh to ass ratio that's just like, it just feels like she looked like she's about to teeter, and she actually said that she was unhappy with it. So what I love about Selena had also mentioned that her mom had been online saying that maybe it's a publicity stunt, and her mom has been talking. She doesn't have a very good relationship with her mother.
This is K Michelle. We're talking about
this is back to Black China.
Okay,
her mom is like trying to always stay in the media. I think her name is Tokyo Tony or something like that.
Wow, that's her name.
Yeah, and she, I think, has been on some of the hip hop whatever shows. But regardless, I do hope it's genuine. What I really like about her decision to do, like, we all saw her modify her body. I appreciate her bringing us along for the ride while she just dissolved all of that stuff and like bring it back to natural. Right. Yeah.
I think it also goes to show that you can be unhappy in your natural state, get modifications and still not be happy, and then go back to your regular self, which it goes to a point of, it's a mindset of how you feel about yourself, how you view yourself. Yeah. And so, you know, if it took church or finding God or finding Jesus for her to feel more confident in her life, then I'm all for it. Yeah. You know, I'm all for it.
And her kids, I think it was like a combination of her children getting connected to God, and then also she got some type of like degree in seminary or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she got a doctorate degree in Bible school or Bible seminary school. So I guess she's going to be a pastor, which could be, again, it could be a way for her to make money.
Are we on Mace levels here? Like, are we headed down the road? I could be okay without her being a minister.
Yeah, I don't trust nobody who's a celebrity pastor for
she
sure.
About to have a goddamn religion. Watch.
A cult, a whole ass cult.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't have to go there with it. But anyway, I do appreciate her. She looks happy. Sure. I appreciate her bringing us along for the ride. Walking
a better path.
Right. And I also, because young women are looking at these images, and it's hard to keep up. It's hard to stay looking young. It's hard to stay with the trends or whatever it is.
It's hard to be a woman for sure.
So I appreciate it.
Hard to be a Black woman, especially. Who's the second Black woman you want to talk about?
The second one, her name is Angel Reese.
Angel Reese.
We get some horns for Angel Reese.
Hold on. I get some horns. Here we go.
Hey.
She has been all over the social media right now, all over Twitter.
Amazing. Are you familiar with Angel? Do you know Angel? Okay. So Angel is a 20-year-old women's basketball player. She was first playing at University of Maryland. and then transferred, I guess, 2 years in. She now plays for LSU.
Yeah, let me find this clip. Really quick.
So before you play the clip,
Okay.
the clip that you're getting ready to play is produced by a company called Together.
Okay.
Together is an organization that was founded by women athletes. It's a media group that was founded by Diana Taurasi.
Okay.
Hope, the soccer player.
Hope.
I
know you're
forgot her
talking
name,
about,
but Hope, the women's soccer player.
the
Hope.
goalie. She was the goalie.
Yeah, her, and then there's one other really famous women's athlete. I'll look it up while you're playing the clip. But anyway, so Together is the media company
That put this together.
Yeah,
All right.
that put it together.
Hold on. I gotta
Talk your shit, Angel.
and go back to where is that? Oh, here we go.
We getting there, folks. We getting there.
There's so many buttons to push.
Down a little. Angel, you're too hood. Angel, you're too ghetto. Actually, I'm none of those things. I'm Angel Reese from Baltimore, where grit, tenacity, and being a dog is my second nature. Where I'm from, when you step on that court, you better be ready to defend your name and your spot. You think there's going to be handouts? There's no handouts. There are no excuses. If I had been a little sweeter, softer, or nicer, I wouldn't be the player I am today. I wouldn't be breaking records. I wouldn't be setting trends. I wouldn't be the double queen, the Bayou Barbie, or even just going viral.
She blocked that while holding her own shoe.
I'm here to put Baltimore on the map for the young girls that are looking up to me where I'm from. So you want me to be nice? Nah, I'm going to play like Angel. I'm going to walk that walk, and I'm going to talk that talk, and I'm going to be passionate and competitive. It paved the way for me, it made a lane for me, and it made me, me. The one and only Angel Reese, the Bayou Barbie, the double queen. And I won't be toning it down anytime soon.
The Bayou Barbie. I like that.
Bayou Barbie. I love her so much.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, she's in the news recently because her LSU, her team were in the national championship playing against another really good player named Caitlin Clark from Iowa. And towards the end of the game, Angel Reese went like this. You can't see me directly to Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
There was person I saw it first was Keith Olbermann on Twitter who called Angel Reese a fucking idiot and said it was classless.
Yep.
And it just started a whole firestorm because Caitlin Clark did the same thing to another player
the day before,
and no one said anything.
Mm-hmm.
So Caitlin's a white woman.
Yep. From Iowa. Angel Reese is a black woman from Baltimore. So let's talk about it. Why is it a big deal? So so first of all, both of them notoriously talk shit. There's tons of clips where Caitlin and her teammates are like, yeah, she gets us together. She's always in our faces. She's doing all this shit. And it's never really an issue, right?
Yeah.
Like it's passion, it's commitment, it's love of the game. She's a dog, whatever. But then when it's a black woman,
it's a problem.
Angel has been in everybody's faces all year long. I mean, all season long, yeah. She has been in folks' faces, talking shit, doing her thing. But like she said, she started playing yard ball, right? Like street ball. That's how they play. She played with dudes, and
men talk shit all the time. Men talk shit all the time.
We talking shit
to
right
one
now.
Another. So why is it? It's only an issue because of the black woman doing it to a white woman. That is the only fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
And
so somebody said she followed her, right? So when Diana Taurasi, when Caitlin did it to her opponent, she did it from like afar. She was like, she did whatever shot it was, and then she just did
was passive aggressive with that shit.
You can't see me, right?
She was passive aggressive. You gotta do it in the face.
So then, when Caitlin did, when what's the name did it to Caitlin, she followed her around the court, was following her around the court and whatever. They're like, well, why did she have to follow her? You don't get to fucking set the rules.
For sure.
You don't get to set the rules on how black people or how anybody gets to celebrate or gets to talk shit. Is it against and this is what I hope doesn't happen. So now that women's basketball, like this season, have you seen like the stats?
I saw there were people watching it, which is amazing. Was
the most watched college finals game, men or women.
Wow, that's crazy. Which is good though.
Yes, which is really good.
Which is really great for the sport.
It's great for the sport, and I don't know. I mean, I just feel like Angel is great, and I hope she continues to talk her shit.
Did y'all see what Jill Biden did? Come on, man. So Jill Jill
I'm smack
Biden
Jill.
wanted to have both of the team because when a team wins a championship, the winning team always goes to the White House.
Mm-hmm.
So LSU obviously was the champion and should be going to the White House. Jill Biden was like, "Oh, we should have both. I want to invite both." People was like, "No, we ain't doing that.
No,
we ain't doing that. We ain't
not
doing
inviting
both." But you know who does
Yeah,
that?
because there's also the whole idea that it's a all white team versus an all black team.
That LSU team is very black. And you know what I really love about that? Her coach don't give a shit. Like their coach is right there with them. I saw this clip of Angel on the phone, like with Lil Wayne. And she was like, "Coach, come over here. Wayne want to talk to you." You know, Wayne from Louisiana.
Yeah.
So she came over there and like, "Oh, Wayne, we was gonna keep it going for you." Like,
go to the comments for me.
She's into the culture. Like, she's there.
You know who didn't have a problem with the trash talk?
Who?
Caitlin Clark. Caitlin literally came on when she was interviewing and she was like, "Yeah, I don't have a problem with what Angel did. Like, we're competitive. We talk shit. We going whatever."
It is what it is.
They was like, get off of her. Like, leave her alone. It's not that big of a deal.
I'm glad to see that.
White America, white men.
Whiteness.
I was gonna play a clip from Stephen A, but I'll play it later.
What he say?
So Stephen A said this. Let me see if I can pull it up. You know, I'll be struggling.
I can't stand him though.
You don't like Stephen A?
I can't fucking stand Stephen A.
Show, I think she's spectacular. I'm the one that's been calling her the Steph Curry of women's basketball, and she has done nothing to push that back. I mean, this young lady is spectacular. She's been great for women's.
You're talking about Caitlin Clark right now,
not just college basketball, but women's basketball. I think she has the potential, when all is said and done, to be arguably the greatest ever, because when you have that kind of range and that kind of handle and you can pull up from the parking lot like Steph Curry, for crying out loud, I think that's something that you can transition to the next level, and it's going to be spectacular to see, and I can't wait to see it. But here's the reality of the situation. She instigated this kind of stuff. Let's call it what it is. She was waving. She was doing the Cena. How about what she did to Raven Johnson? She didn't just go into the lane and not guard her against South Carolina in the national semifinal. She waved her off. She didn't mind being disrespectful.
Yeah.
So why is it that we're hesitant to bring that up? See, here's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to dilute your point by any stretch, Janae, because I get where you're coming from. And as a lady, you should take that position along with Molly about how we all need to grow up and accept the fact that these women are highly competitive. They're highly gifted and skilled, and we should give them the love and respect and deference they deserve. But I'm going a step further with this. We all know that there's a white-black issue here, because the fact of the matter is, when Caitlin did it, people were celebrating it, and they were talking about nothing but her greatness. But then the second the sister stepped up and threw it back in her face, now you got half the basketball world saying, "Well, you know what? That's not the classiest thing to do." Yeah. That's
basically what we just said.
Yeah.
So, but it's good to see as far as black men I saw on Twitter, I didn't see that one black man go against Angel Reese.
I didn't see it either. I think
it was great to see that they were a united front on what the real issue was. And so that's the world we live in. That's America for you.
That's it.
Was there anything else in Method Weekly you want to touch on?
No, that's it for now. I mean, I think the other thing I was going to mention was Donald Trump, but just fuck Donald Trump.
Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck, don't y'all vote for that motherfucker. We don't want him back ever again. Remy.
Yeah.
Let's get into what these people came to get into.
Let's do it.
The method message. Method Weekly. I'm making a mess over here. Making a mess. I'm drinking too much.
Tell your mama.
As long as it didn't get on the main board.
I'm gonna tell your mama.
All right, so the method. Sorry, mama. So method message, man. We're talking about shit that has changed in our lifetime. There's a lot that's changed, and hopefully, if we live much longer, a long life, we'll see a whole lot more. But I'm 42. Evan, how old are you?
I'm 43.
43. And
very
Remy,
good. I look very good.
You look very young. You look very good.
I'm 34.
You're 34. You're the opposite of my age.
He ain't 34. He's like 38. How old are you?
I'm like 38.
You're
Like
38.
I'm almost 40.
Almost 40.
I'll be 40 soon.
So yeah, we've seen a lot of stuff that's changed since we were birthed into this world. So I'm sure y'all have as well, Method Head. So my first question I'm going to ask the table is, what did you remember about growing up as a preteen that you think today's generation is missing out on? Because when I think about technology, I guess we'll start with technology. When I think back about technology, I remember being connected to my friends. Like that was the only thing we had was like a landline, a telephone. That was the connection. Outside of that, it was my friendships, going to see my friends and hanging out and spending time together. That was the biggest thing that I remember about growing up as a preteen. Didn't have all this other stuff.
Technology.
So when you think about your preteens and growing up, what's the thing that you remember the most about just growing up?
Yeah, the only technology that was part of my preteen years was television and video games. There was like no phone and no social media and all that.
You say no
stuff.
phone, you mean like no landline, or what do you mean?
No cell phone?
No device. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Portable
like
devices.
there was a computer at one point, but even that kind of came later.
Yeah,
So,
and it was like a in the house computer. Like
it was
a
like
landline.
everybody's computer. It wasn't like
yeah.
my own little device that I got. So it was so it was a lot of like my father trying to get me to go outside and my cousins trying to get me to go outside, but I wanted to play the game, right? That's what I wanted to do, but I had to go outside sometimes.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time outside.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time outside, and I don't think that kids do anymore. They have so many other options. You know, there's a lot, not even just like, even my son, like he's got a lot of toys.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like TV or electronics, but even the television shows, right? Like we would watch shows at a certain time. Like I remember watching the Cosby Show on Thursday nights.
For sure. Yep.
And it would be like the
family
last
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
The last thing that we would do before we would go to bed at night. On a Thursday night, we would watch it as a TV, like on a TV show, like whatever. So we didn't have like the ability to choose so many different things. So it was like, oh, this is a premium time to spend family time watching this TV show. So
Remember TGIF?
Thanksgiving and Friday.
Yes!
That
Was
was
it
it
Family
for me.
Matters? Family Matters was on there. What else was on TGIF?
Full House, I think.
Full
was
House. I definitely remember Family Matters was on
Family
TGIF.
Boy
Matters
Meets
was-
World was on there, I think.
But it was like, you know
Boy
what?
Meets World, I think.
We structured a certain amount of family time around
around the TV.
Around the TV, yeah.
The TV. That was the thing.
Get your bath, get everything done, because this comes on at 5. Ain't no pausing the TV. You know what I mean? Like
we would go outside and play, and then we had to be in by a certain time, so you can eat, shower, and watch TV or whatnot.
We got some good comments on the Facebook.
What they saying? Pagers and payphones, baby, and long phone cords. And yes, the long phone cords.
We would take the phone and we would go from like the kitchen, and we had like this. It was almost like a pantry, and so we would take the phone in the pantry and close the door to the pantry with this long ass curly phone cord to try and have some privacy.
Today's generation will not know what is like to be on the phone trying to Mac and hear your mama pick up the phone
on the other side
and dialing. Mama, I'm on the phone. Get off my phone, boy.
Boy, you ain't talking to nobody.
Get off that phone. Get off
my phone.
Dang,
you ain't doing nothing but talking to these fast ass little girls. That's all you
get
doing.
off the phone.
Or fall asleep on the phone.
Or here's somebody listening. You had because you were really balling. You had two phones and two landlines in the house.
Yep.
So you're on the phone and you hear somebody pick up. You're like, I think somebody on the phone listening. Yeah. So yeah.
Look at Justin's comment. The nervousness of calling a girl's house the first time, not knowing who would answer.
Yeah.
Because you want her, but you might have to talk to her brother.
Like 90% of the time, you're going to get one of the parents. You got
For
like,
sure.
Yo, can I speak to Keisha? Can I speak to Keisha there?
Who this?
All soft.
Who called?
Who is this?
Boy, I'm calling my phone.
Boy, listen, do you know what time it is?
Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing that technology has definitely changed, man. But I didn't really start playing video games until. So I was born in '81.
Real quick. You ever got cussed out by somebody's parents calling too late?
No, I'm from the country.
Really?
In the country, they didn't really curse. It was very Bible Belt, so you know what I mean. So very conservative.
So what would they do? Like, did you ever call?
They were very stern. You know, it's like, hey boy, listen, it's 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we call my baby girl, at this time, but not cursed out though. Like it's always been respectful.
Yeah.
Well, in the city, you was definitely calling after 9 o'clock because, first of all, you wanted to talk late anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's demon hours. You want to talk late, so she got to like call the time or call somebody else and click over to call you or whatever. But if you call the wrong time and you're gonna get the parents, you're gonna be in trouble.
We got our user. He said I got cussed out by calling after 9.
Yeah, that's part of it. It's part of growing up.
I never got cussed out.
I got cussed out so much.
Because you were the good girl. You wasn't breaking the rules.
I wasn't calling nobody anyway. Men was calling me. Yeah, not man, but boys.
He was getting the phone calls.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the first piece of technology that really excited you?
The beeper.
The beeper.
The beeper.
The beeper.
I know that makes me super old,
beat me 911.
Oh,
baby.
we used to come up with all these different creative ways of texting words on the pager, like hello.
Yeah, I remember that. You can say I love you.
I love you.
Pagers, I think the drug dealers made pagers cool.
Right.
Maybe.
Well, them and I guess hip hop, I don't know.
No, for me, hip hop was because I also grew up in Connecticut. So we were right there, like from where I was in South Norwalk to Harlem was a 40-minute at the most train ride to 125th. So we did a lot of ridiculous stuff. But Pagers was it for me.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Somebody said
what
Sony
I always
Walkman.
So I love the
Sony Walkman.
I used to call.
So the first piece of technology that really excited me was the PlayStation.
Yeah,
like that was a really. So don't get me wrong. Like
I'm with him.
We had a Nintendo, right? And we had the Sega
Genesis,
but something about that PlayStation, it
hit different.
It excited me so much, and then that was the first time my dad actually bought me a real Christmas gift. I think by that time I was like, I don't know how old I was. I was like 94, 95, and my dad actually came through. He ended up coming through with shit in my life,
but he got you that.
But he got me that damn Sony PlayStation.
Come on, Dad.
Dad came through. Boy, you can tell me shit. I was so excited about that thing, man. But I also think gaming is kind of blamed for like how kids are not as active anymore.
For sure. I was very inactive because of video games. And so mine stems kind of off of yours. For me, it was the Nintendo. Like I have pictures of me on my birthday getting the NES. And my life was different after that. It just was.
Never was in a game.
It just was. Like
I have a Switch now. It took me forever to get. Well, it's not my Switch; it's my son's Switch. What's ColecoVision? What's that mean?
I don't know what that is.
I think that was like before. It was either around. No, it was before Nintendo. Because
whoever that is old as hell. I don't know who you are, but you old as hell.
So tell us when ColecoVision was. What
the fuck
year?
is ColecoVision?
Because PlayStation
is a game system.
I'm sorry, Nintendo was like late 1980s.
Was that
like
before Atari or after Atari?
I got mine on. It was after Atari. Nintendo was. ColecoVision probably was
I
gotta see what ColecoVision is.
I ain't never heard of that. Whoever you are, you are old as fuck.
Who are you, Facebook user ColecoVision?
Yeah, same time as Atari. So like early 80s probably.
Let's know your name. ColecoVision.
Probably early 80s.
I also remember 70s.
It says an Atari console.
Oh, so Atari.
ColecoVision was an
Atari. It's Melissa.
Is that Melissa?
It's Melissa.
Oh.
Hey, did you know there?
Why are you our Facebook user?
Jay, did you know that there
was
was
cards in there?
I played Atari.
No, this is not Atari.
It's something else.
Look, you had to put like pieces of paper in that thing.
Oh yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't know what that is. I ain't never seen that.
That's some old shit right there.
That's
this bitch costs $120 today.
Damn.
Yeah, it's probably. Yeah.
What you about to ask me, Remy?
What is that?
What you about to ask me?
I don't know. It's gone.
Y'all done had 3 drinks, so nobody remembers nothing.
So I was thinking about like
I was gonna ask you. Did you know that there was a Sega system before the Genesis? There was like
the Dreamcast.
Before there was I don't know what it was called. Somebody might know, but there was like some system that they had that came out before the Sega.
I'm gonna save y'all from yourselves because we're not gonna go down and
we're not
talking about games.
We're not. But
first of all,
evolution. So someone mentioned Sony Walkmans. Do y'all remember the transition going from like the CD, the tapes, right? The cassette tapes to CDs.
To Discman.
To Discman. Like I remember like the change in my local radio tape store.
Yeah.
Like at one point the CDs was just like one little small section.
Yeah.
Right. and it was all cassette tapes, and then like all of a sudden it was all CDs.
Right.
And I just remember like, damn, so now I got to go out and buy a Walkman, or the CD Discman.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now think of it, now we got MP3 players. Like no one almost has CDs,
Right.
you know. So
shit, we don't. A lot of MP3s are actually outdated now because most people stream their music. You know what I'm saying?
It's true. All right, so let's move on to the internet. Do you like it or dislike the internet? What's your feelings? Because obviously we grew up in a time where we did not have the internet. That we just said we were outside playing with our friends or on the phone playing sports.
Yep.
Here comes the World Wide Web.
Mhm.
I think around probably 1999, 2000 when it really started popping off.
Yep.
Here we are today. So what's your feelings on the internet?
I actually really started using the internet more when I moved to Japan because I had a podcast at the time.
Who had a podcast?
I did. Not podcast, a blog, a vanity blog.
Gotcha,
I was gonna say that was.
I was like, damn.
No, not back then. So I had a blog back then, but that was my way of, because calling home was expensive, right? We didn't have all the ways to call, Skype and shit that we have now.
Right.
So I do feel like the early days of the internet was so fun.
So wait, when was this?
I went to Japan in 2001.
Okay, so early 2000s.
Yeah, 2002.
Okay.
And it was my main way of, like, I was still sending
that was
faxes.
before iPhones and shit.
Yeah, it was before iPhones. I was calling my parents through I was sending faxes to them and stuff.
Right.
So being able to like let them know about what I was doing back then, was really useful and cost effective. The internet.
Your parents had a fax machine?
Well,
my parents had a fax machine.
and at that time, you had a cell phone, but it didn't have like.
but it didn't have like international.
It couldn't
calling.
do nearly what they can do now.
No.
International calls.
No, and it didn't. I mean, the apps wasn't like the apps were not like what it is right now. We didn't have apps.
You had apps on your phone? We
No,
had
it was no apps.
You had Sprint.
No, I was in Japan, so I had like Docomo or something.
Oh, you had some Japan shit.
I had Japan
That's
Docomo.
crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
still
She
have
had
my
a
Japan phone now.
service.
Yeah,
It'd be crazy if you had the cell phone. That would have been
I should have brought it.
not, what's the word I'm looking for? Priceless at this point.
Yeah. I don't even know now, but like it was like old school flip phone.
It'd be like, I mean, for them, it's probably like how Nokia is here. I mean, everybody had a Nokia back in the day.
Yeah.
And if you still got one, it's lethal.
But even then, like the Japanese phones were way better than the phones that
Really?
we had in the States.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's dope.
I mean, even when we were like texting, remember
What
when
you do
we
with
just?
that thing?
I still got it at home.
Oh, you still got it?
Yeah, I still got it at
I
home.
want to see it.
The phone? This phone?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you
wanna
take
see
take a
it.
picture of that.
I
Sure.
will. I will.
Yeah, we're gonna post that on
I had
So-
internet.
on IG.
My summary is, in the beginning of the internet and like when it was first coming upon, it was fun and it was good. And I believe like the guy from the science thing, like this is cool.
Yeah.
But now we're in a very different place.
Yeah.
And now it's a cesspool of depression
Troll.
and trolls and
Messy
Yeah.
cesspool.
Yeah.
Mm.
and I like what Laura
The
says.
internet
I
is
have a
overpopulated.
love-hate Lori, sorry, not Laura. Lori. I have a love-hate relationship with
Shout
the
out to
internet.
Lori.
I'm in the same place. I don't know. What do you
Remy?
guys-
I fucked with the internet until smartphones took over. When the internet was just like a spot in your house, just one spot, kind of like how at one point the phone was a spot in your house.
Mm-hmm.
You just go to that spot, you talk on the phone, and of course, you know, you got cordless phones and shit got crazy, and then cell phones, and you took the phone out the house. The internet kind of followed the same path or whatever, but when it was just in a corner of the house and that's just where everybody had to go for the internet, I fucked with it. It was addictive even back then. I could feel it at that time.
Yeah.
So then obviously you transition to the internet follows me everywhere I go now. It has a hold on me. Like my phone is like, I've described this before. It's like an external brain at this point. Like it is not just a device anymore. It is an extension of me.
It's true.
And if I lose this motherfucker, like I might die.
It's all in the cloud.
I might fall down a well if I lose my phone. I'll end up in a well.
It's in the cloud.
It's in the no.
My friend,
No, I'm talking about the day. Like it's not even about retrieving my things. I'm saying how I'm gonna get home. Because if I lose my phone,
you know how to get home.
From where? From where?
I would rather lose my credit cards and debit cards than lose my phone.
Yes, because at least there's no immediate.
And that's crazy to think about. But think about all the stuff that have
shit.
all the access on your phone, like all your bank accounts.
All that shit off.
There's not a whole lot of like saving graces for your phone disappearing. Whereas
But
if you lose a credit card,
this is where,
Mhm.
if you're an Apple person, all the shit is connected. Because the moment I lose my phone,
Mhm.
I can go on my iPad and say I lost my shit and disconnect it and wipe that shit, and it's all up on the internet.
She thinks she's special because she's an
I
iPhone
actually
person.
am
That is a
special.
good.
We have that.
I'm
in
I
Android
appreciate
side.
that is a good
I'm actually
feature.
very
We
special.
have that,
That is
in
a good
Samsung
feature.
And
too,
a friend
you
of
know.
a friend of ours who's actually listening, my very good girlfriend Miko, had a situation. She's on here somewhere talking about her daddy said she could.
She's part of
He
Facebook
said drug
user.
dealers. She wasn't a drug dealer or a doctor, so she couldn't have a beeper.
That's funny.
Anyway, but she got a new phone recently, and she's like, "Oh shit, I got a
Yeah.
new phone, and now all of the shit that was on my old phone is now on my new phone." That is a thing that can happen now.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
big facts.
So fuck that phone.
I mean, I like my phone,
Team Apple,
but
yes.
so for me, the internet is.
I don't like smartphones.
I
That's
would
my whole
literally, if I didn't have the podcast,
okay.
at this point in my life, I would probably not be on the internet at all.
Ooh, okay.
because there's better
I just-
places to be.
I just think there's better places to spend your time, your
Yeah.
mind. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy being on TikTok and creating content sometimes, and I enjoy doing the podcast.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of mindless scrolling. There's a lot of bad advice.
You
There's
talking about
also
TikTok?
bad
Terrible
Sound like you
advice.
talking about TikTok.
bad opinions.
Terrible advice.
Nigga, that's everywhere.
But it's also
That's
on
everywhere.
TikTok.
So I'm just like, so for me, like I think the internet has given us a lot of great things.
Yeah.
One of those things being the ability to connect with people. Another thing is like understanding other people have other issues worldwide and being able to know
Yes.
what is
yes,
happening.
yes.
So there are a lot of
I
great
like
things
that.
about the internet.
And while we're
So-
talking shit about the internet, this podcast wouldn't exist without the internet. So
True.
we appreciate the internet right in this moment. Like, internet, don't get mad. Please share, like, subscribe, like, do all the internet things to keep this thing moving. But also, fuck the internet a little bit. You know, I think
I
that's
mean,
what we
the
said.
internet has given us more access to stuff outside of our bubble, right?
Absolutely.
It
before the
has
internet,
made-
because
it has made the world
But-
before the
smaller.
internet,
I
it
will,
was
but the algorithms
bigger though,
Smaller.
bigger,
Smaller.
bigger.
We're the same size, and the world is smaller because of the internet.
Okay, I see what he means. It means
Okay, I see
it
what
brings
you're saying.
everything a little bit closer,
Gotcha.
right?
Okay.
Yeah. But here's the thing about that though. The algorithms have now made it so that when
Motherfucking algorithms.
the algorithms,
The god.
I look up, I'm gonna say penguins because this is an inside joke between Miko and us about the penguins. But
Okay.
so say I look up penguins, right? On the
Uh-huh.
fucking internet. I look up penguins.
Mhm.
And then the next thing I know, everything in my feed is penguins. Penguins.
But you don't even
penguins,
have to look up
penguins.
penguins
I can
anymore.
talk
You can just,
You
penguins.
can
talk
just
penguin.
think
You can
about
just-
it.
I think so.
You could just.
Oh,
I
that's what we
think
talked
so.
about the other day.
I think so. Yes.
No, but so like you
We all
just-
gonna get ads for penguins like after this.
100%.
Think about these
100%.
niggas like
Text me.
penguins.
Text me when the
Ain't
penguins
nothing
show up in
podcast.
your feed.
Do you want to adopt a penguin?
You want to get a penguin, dog?
Motherfucker.
We heard you
no.
was talking about penguins.
Order this bracelet and you can track a penguin in the North Pole. No, but so that kind of shit happens. So I have a
Yeah.
couple of different Instagram pages, right? I have one
Uh-huh.
Instagram page that's for my dog,
Okay.
only for my dog. My dog's name is Bumblebee. Then I follow all dog pages.
Mm.
Then I have another one for my yoga stuff, which is
yeah.
I have all yoga stuff, and then I have my regular one. The stuff, the content that is in each of those is so very different.
Different, yeah.
It's not like you're getting a snippet. Look, she said, "I better not find a penguin on my phone."
That's funny.
Lori,
Y'all all
say
getting penguins in
penguin
y'all
out
phone.
loud.
I
Just
actually
say,
love when
Everybody that's
I
watching
love-
this right now is getting penguins in their phone immediately.
I love when I'm on TikTok and I fall into like cat talk and dog talk because I be laughing my ass off.
They're
like,
so
yeah.
funny.
Some of the stuff is so funny.
The animals are
run the
so
goddamn
funny.
internet. Yeah.
I'm so glad we record animals. Okay, sorry.
So what do you hate
we're
most
distracted.
about?
Wait.
What do
Are
you
you
hate?
in my Facebook group?
We're not talking about that.
What you mean? I keep talking- we talking about the whitelist
what do you
all the
hate?
time.
What do you hate the most about social media? No, what do you
Niggas.
hate the most
Sorry.
about social media? What am I asking here?
I don't know.
I
What
don't
do
know.
you hate the
Move on.
most
What do we
about
hate about
social
the
media?
internet?
I don't think. What did you hate the most about?
See,
how?
I could have talked about my
there we go.
Facebook
There it is.
group.
What do you hate the most about how social media has changed you? What do you hate the most about how social media has changed you? See, eventually I was gonna get it out and get it right. Y'all.
You got it. You got it. We're here
I've
for
been
you.
drinking.
We gonna
So
wait.
your opinion on the effect that social media has had?
Cause
do you like the effect that social
'Cause it
media has had on
changed.
you?
It has
Not
changed
really.
all of us.
Why don't you like it? What has been negative about
I mean, well, at one point, like I'm argumentative,
No.
What you mean? So I'm argumentative, and at one
Never.
point, especially when Obama was in office, man, I was on the internet just murking motherfuckers, just going hard, because for me it's like, why are y'all talking so much shit about this person when like none of y'all could even compare to this person?
Yeah. So you
Like,
feel
do you
like it's changed you
understand?
to be more argumentative?
At that
Argumentative?
time,
Oh.
and then obviously it's been a transition since then. I don't argue on the internet anymore. I've grown.
Yeah.
I've grown, but I
do.
still
I
have.
definitely still do.
I still have, I guess, something of a dependency that I feel is just too much. Like I end up on the internet and don't even realize it most of the time. Like I don't have a conscious relationship with the internet. I just end up on there all the time,
which is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I can't fuck with TikTok. Simply because if I have TikTok on my phone, I lose 2 hours and won't even realize it.
Yep.
Like 2 fucking hours are gone, and I don't even know what the fuck happened the last 2 hours.
You definitely gotta learn how to set boundaries.
Nah, that's why.
What do you hate the most about how social media has changed you, or has it changed you? Maybe it hasn't changed you.
I think I pull back in ways so that it does not consume my life and too much. But I was gonna say I definitely still argue with people on the internet. I definitely still argue with stupid people.
Yeah.
But I have a 2 comment minimum, a maximum. Like I'll go back and forth with you 2 times about.
You get 2
shit.
back and forth.
Yeah, I get you. I gotta get you once.
Yeah.
And then you come back, and then I get you once again, and then I'm gonna leave it alone. Then I'm gonna delete you or block you or whatever because you're a stupid person anyway.
You get 2 rounds of spades. If ain't nobody played the big joker yet, with you
I'm not spending a whole lot of
That's
time.
it.
I don't know y'all people. You know, you're not that important. But so I guess one of the things about is that same type of thing. Like when I feel like the pull or the draw, or I feel like I'm missing something in my life because I'm missing out on something. Like I definitely have periods of time where I will remove Facebook from my phone altogether.
It's like a detox.
Yeah, it's also not, Facebook is not as interesting as it used to be.
No,
There's like a lot of.
definitely not.
I mean, we're getting older. A lot of people are fucking dying.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I know this is really sad to say, but like I don't want to be inundated with death all the time.
Sure, I get it.
It's a lot. It's
sure.
a lot. So sometimes I'll just be like, I can't fuck with social media like that. But one of the things I was when we were doing the podcast, one of the barriers for the podcast for me was the posting. I don't like to post on social media that much.
Yeah.
And so when we were trying, like, how do you have a podcast if you can't promote it, right? Like, there's a responsibility, or like this
to create the content,
right? So I don't like the fact that I'm driven to do something that is outside of my normal nature.
Gotcha.
And whenever I feel like that, then I got to pull it back.
No, I'm with you.
What are you doing? What do you think? You said you would be offline if you were.
I would, but I feel like the thing that social media has changed the most about me is that I don't feel like I say my opinion hardly ever anymore.
Ooh, really?
I don't say half the stuff I used to say.
Okay, so a lot of things I used to
be very. I'm still opinionated, but now I feel like all people are going to do is argue.
Right.
So I don't say hardly anything on social media. And even in my personal life, I'm just like, because I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that because I don't want.
So you
let me tell you what Jay
yourself. You're censoring yourself.
I'm censoring myself more.
Let me tell you
because
what Jay
of social media.
Jay will just post something in his status, just like a fucking bomb, just a nuclear bomb, and just leave that there and just go about his day, just like. And all this chaos is in the comments. He won't respond to none of that shit. Won't say nothing about nothing. If anything, you'll see another post later, and that other post is like whatever bullshit y'all.
Most of my posts are I try to be very thought provoking.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a fire starter.
Or I challenge people.
Not all the time, but there's a little fire.
To think outside the box, right? Like for example, I did a post the other day. I said, women always say all men think about is sex.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, cool, you right. Let me see your browser history. And women, I put this little look. I was like, because women are being hypocrites. Women searching big dicks, threesomes,
is that what's going on?
Like people are searching a lot of stuff.
Can we see your browser history?
I don't have to search for big dicks online.
She got one.
She said
she got
one.
Oh,
wait. Hey, she said it's not in the browser history, it's in the DMs. What you talking about? What you talking about?
I'm just saying. So a lot of people started communicating.
That's funny.
So I don't try to intentionally start shit, but I just don't like hypocrisy. But anyway, like I said, I feel like the social media internet has I censor myself more.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. We got lots to talk about.
That crown.
Say what?
Pass me that crown over there.
You finished your drink?
What y'all got on notes? Haven't you got anything?
Oh, sorry, I'm off.
That's all right. So I have one here.
Comedy. Mine was comedy.
Yeah. So social acceptabilities.
Comedy's different.
So social acceptability. Let's talk about comedy. How is it? Is it better? Was it better back in the day, or is it better now?
So one of the things I was thinking about was like Eddie Murphy, like Eddie Murphy Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Like would Eddie
Richard
Murphy,
Pryor.
Richard fucking Pryor.
Yeah.
Would Eddie Murphy Raw the scene about I won't have ID about the African woman.
Oh yeah.
Like there's so many things that would just not be
Can't
okay.
do that today.
No,
It would not be okay.
it just would not be okay.
Because you did it.
Well,
Be
here's
canceled. You'd
the
be canceled
question.
for
Here's
sure.
the big thing, and I think this is the important thing to consider when it comes to cancel culture.
Mhm.
That was funny at that time. Is that funny today? Not really.
I mean,
If we watched it today,
so you
do you think you would laugh?
So you think we evolved from what was funny?
I think
absolutely have
conscious.
evolved.
Some people do, some
I
people
have.
don't.
I have evolved.
Yeah.
I've evolved from things that I thought that was
like
funny.
we might actually watch it and be like, yo, that's kind of funny.
That's not
That's
that
a
funny.
little fucked up.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
you get
exactly.
that feeling.
It has not aged well.
So,
It
and
doesn't
obviously,
age
it's a
well.
different. At that time, it was hilarious.
It was very funny.
Listen, I died. Yeah,
But
that was it was so funny. Jay-Z like made a reference to it in one of his songs. You remember "Girls, Girls, Girls"?
Yes.
He makes a reference to that, and when I saw that, like,
Why you treat
I
me
heard
like
his-
animals?
I heard Jay-Z's before I saw Raw. So when I went back and watched it, I was like, oh, that's what that's from.
Yep.
Holy shit!
Yep.
I also feel like though, like today's comedy is not as funny, not just because of we evolved. I think there's a lot of fear of being canceled, like the cancel culture. Like you say the wrong thing,
You're not
and
watching
then-
the right stuff, baby.
No,
Yeah, no, I
Look at
wanted to
this
send
fool.
you something.
Look.
Was that?
Look at this fool talking about it's still funny to me.
Yeah, Justin will laugh at anything. He don't give a fuck. So Louis C.K. dropped a special the other day.
I don't like fuck with
Who?
Louis C.K.
She don't fuck with Louis C.K., but Louis C.K. dropped a special the other day.
you don't like Louis C.K. Okay.
And he's a controversial comedian.
He
Yeah.
is.
Well, who isn't? Chris Rock can't be.
But
Dave
he's
Chappelle
also
is.
but he's also probably the funniest white man on the planet.
I don't know about that.
Name one.
What's the guy Dan somebody or
Who
other?
the fuck is that?
Dane Cook. You talking about Dane Cook?
Dane.
I like
Dane
Dane
is
Cook.
funny.
I
I
love
love
hold
Dane
on.
Cook.
I think Dane's
I
funny.
love Dane Cook.
Yeah.
I would go see Dane Cook
Me
in
too.
Tampa.
He
If
was-
I could afford it right now, I would buy those tickets. Louis C.K. is funnier. Also, there's an alleged, I hate to bring up old shit. There was an alleged that Dane Cook stole one of Louis C.K.'s jokes. That's,
I
but
don't
that's
know
another
anything
story.
about that.
But I feel like
But-
comedians steal each other's jokes all the time.
No,
For sure.
it was a big deal. It wasn't
Oh,
okay.
okay. All right.
A lot of people don't. So I'm not going to talk too much about Dane Cook. I thought he was an amazing comedian for his time, but he's done.
I've
He's
never,
not
I've
popular
never, I've
now.
never watched any Louis C.K. stuff, so I can't.
Oh,
really
you
speak
should
on
watch
that.
it.
I put a special.
He was the one that was up there
on-
saying like nigga and shit with
Yeah.
Chris
That was
Rock.
that shit. That was that shit.
Didn't he get me
And
too?
Chris
He got
Rock
me
was
too.
like, "Oh,
didn't
it's
he?
okay."
He got
Louis
me
C.K.
too.
done a lot of fucked up
He got
shit.
me
He said
too.
the N-word
He
on
got
I'm out on
me
Louis
stage.
C.K.
Yeah.
He said the N-word on stage and off
Yeah.
stage.
And the
He's
only
been
person
canceled.
That's a
in the
deal breaker for
room,
me. That's a
the
deal
only
breaker for
person
me.
in the room
He's
that
still
had
funny, though.
any
But Chris motherfucking
George
Rock.
Carlin is very funny.
I like George Carlin.
No, so the only person in the room who had some fucking sense was Steinfeld.
Yeah,
Seinfeld.
I fuck with Jerry Seinfeld. I like
I remember
Seinfeld.
that.
But Jerry
conversation.
Seinfeld is not funny. I think George Carlin is very funny.
I think Seinfeld is funny.
Is George Carlin still alive?
Seinfeld
He died,
still.
right?
I
That's
think
one
he
thing
died.
that hasn't changed. If you watch Jerry Seinfeld do
His shit
stand
is
up
still
today,
funny.
it is the same
Yeah.
type of humor
Yep.
For sure.
from what he started with. He hasn't
agree.
evolved. Chris Rock definitely has evolved as a comedian.
Yeah, he died in 2008.
Chris Rock has evolved as a comedian somewhat.
Somewhat.
I think he is aware, right? Like of like the jokes he was telling back in the day are not the same jokes that he said. So that has
Right.
evolved, right? Like he's aware of it, but
Yeah.
he's still willing to step in it.
I don't like the comedy that's like, I only want to see one person doing serious topic shit and making it try funny. That's Dave Chappelle. Everyone feels like they can get up there and do a whole monologue about their life and to be funny. Motherfucker, everything, your life ain't that funny. And your delivery ain't that funny. Like
No.
it is. So comedy has evolved and changed.
But
I
also
don't
there's
care
more
for it.
women in comedy now too.
It's true.
There's a lot of funny
That's
women
true.
right
There's
now.
a lot of really
True.
funny women.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot. Have you seen Samora's recent?
I haven't seen hers. I
stand-up?
watched Monique's though.
I saw
Did
you
you
watch
like
it.
Monique's?
I didn't
I
watch it.
I heard
enjoyed
it
it.
wasn't funny.
So
I
people
think Monique is funny, but I heard that was not funny.
people are gonna say it wasn't funny. and I'm not saying that they're wrong. It's obviously comedy is subjective.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but to me, it was less of a comedy special and more Monique kind of just coming back. It was kind of like her returning to form.
I've never liked Monique, so I would not.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a Monique fan.
Never like.
I've seen her comedy. I'm like, it's okay.
I don't know her personally, so Monique, if you ever see this podcast, I'm not saying you're a horrible person. I don't like your delivery of your solid comedy.
But the special is less. It's comedy, right? There's still there's some jokes in there, and some of it is fucking funny.
Yeah.
But it's mostly her just being vulnerable.
Okay.
And being very personal and sharing shit that,
again, to my point, people talking about doing like real shit monologues, like about their life.
What about Leslie Jones?
Who's it?
I don't think she's so funny either.
Is she funny?
You think
I
Leslie
think
Jones
she's funny on Saturday Night Live.
She has not made me laugh.
Okay.
Like,
what about the white lady, Chelsea Handler?
She's funny.
You like Chelsea?
I do. I watched
Sarah
her special.
Silverman?
Sarah Silverman has been very funny before. I don't know if she's still funny. I don't know if she still does comedy, but she has this joke. Yeah, I remember one of her jokes, and if I remember your joke,
then
that
it
means
was
you're
funny. Yeah. What about Tiffany Haddish?
Oh no,
not funny.
Her stand up is iffy. There's funny stuff in there, but it's not. I can't watch a whole.
I've never heard one person go to a Tiffany Haddish show and come back and say they loved it. Like personally.
I like her as an actress, though.
Right.
I like seeing her and stuff. And some of the stuff I've seen her in, she's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. As an actress, I like her.
Yeah,
for sure.
She did like some live thing where like she was acting like she was a escaped convict, and she was walking up on some dude and saying like, "Hey, can you help me get out? You know, I need to whatever." It was funny. But her stand up is something else.
We got a lot of shit, y'all.
Sorry, comedy has changed. Okay, what else we got?
So I put in here. This is not some part of your notes. Maybe TV representation. Right. So I think it's one area of our lives where you look back in the 80s and 90s, you almost never saw people of color and on TV.
The only thing you had
was people with disabilities.
Yeah.
You didn't see a whole lot of women who weren't doing anything other than being in the kitchen.
Exactly. So now
the period commercials, if you ever, I mean, guys, you probably didn't pay attention to period commercials, but like tampon commercials, you were like, oh, let's be at home but now they're like riding horses and shit. Like, let's be out here doing what we do.
True. They
real life
airplanes.
Real life shit.
We're gonna do some athletics while we're on our cycle. So it's different.
It's different.
It's very different.
You see dark-skinned women, which is amazing. Back in the day, all you saw was light-skinned women.
Yep.
Or you saw just white women. You almost never saw interracial couple.
That's right.
So you see interracial couples now.
So much interracial couples now.
It's actually more interracial couples than anything. To be honest,
it's mostly that.
So my question is it? And I'm not trying to be politically correct here.
Okay.
Is it too much though? 'Cause I feel like we're so woke and so conscious that I feel like some of these TV shows feel like they have to like touch every demographic almost by force. Like, so for example, I just very first episode I just watched Quantum Leap, the new one.
It's a black person, right?
It's the Asian guy who's
Asian guy. Yeah.
Right. And so as soon as the episode started, they show you pretty quick who the Asian guy is, who the black couple is, the black person, the interracial couple, the transgender person, like all in the first like 10 minutes. I was like, oh, so okay. I know who was who. But sometimes I just want to I see a natural progression of stuff. Yeah. Do they have to touch every demographic in today's age? I'm not saying they don't. I'm just trying to understand.
I think you touching on something that's important because it's not like we have an issue with seeing that. It's just like, don't throw it all in my face right away like that. Like you can add these characters throughout the show and kind of just let them be regular. When you do it at the front, this doesn't look regular.
Right. Like you're front loading your diversity and inclusion.
Some executive was like, yo, we gotta listen. The gays are mad, the blacks are mad. We gotta do something.
Let's giving them diversity and inclusion to open the show. You know?
Yeah.
No. I think it's important to be able to be represented because I don't know if you guys do a whole lot of like reading, but
Are you saying I don't read? She's saying I'm illiterate? No, I'm joking.
What's the last book you read?
I'm reading 2 books right now.
Okay, tell me what you're reading.
Books on that ass.
Yes, how about you?
I ain't reading. I'm reading.
I knew there was a possibility there.
I'm reading these comments and these tweets. God damn it, I'm reading Facebook statuses and Instagram stories.
So one of the books I'm reading is called 41 Conversations to Have with Yourself. It's a self-help book.
Okay.
I
like it.
And the second book I'm reading is called Artemis. It's the guy who wrote The Martian. So that's what I'm reading. So one's a fiction and one's a self-help. That's fine.
I brought up books because I recently listened to an autobiography on Audible of Viola Davis where she talked about representation. She's like, you have to be able to
It's a book?
see. It's a book, but it's on Audible.
All right.
She reads the book that she wrote.
Okay. I mean, I didn't know it was a book or a podcast. It's Audible.
Remy, how are we going to do this for 3 more weeks?
Come on, baby. We got it. We got this.
So the point that Viola was making was that being able to see it is very different than hearing like, oh, you can be an actor, you can be this, you can be that, but being able to see it is very important.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, but I also feel like there's a very big difference in authenticity. Right? Like being able to, this is authentic, right? Like I have these friends and some of them are white and some of them are gay and some of them are disabled and maybe one of them is trans. Like, you know, being able to see it and not being like, oh, let's front load our diversity and inclusion over here because most of our lives don't really function that way.
100%.
Yeah.
And Justin made a very important comment. I don't know if you guys saw True Blood.
Lafayette was absolutely needed in True Blood.
Lafayette is a icon.
Oh yeah, what a great character, man.
He's an fucking
especially
Rest in peace.
especially
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Is he dead?
Yeah,
He died.
He died years
He
ago.
died. Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, he died. I don't want to say it was drug related. I feel like it was though.
I feel like-
overdose or something.
no.
Or sleeping pills, I think.
Yeah.
But it's not going into detail.
Sad.
Okay, sorry.
So child rearing.
Spiraling.
Did you have anything on that?
Yes.
Oh yeah, is having children different now versus
So child rearing, how has that evolved? I'll let you start that off.
Bring her shoulders down away from
'Cause
our ears.
'Cause she's pretty passionate.
I am very
about
passionate
child
about this
rearing.
topic. So I have a 6-year-old. So I'm a mom, but of course I don't know what child rearing was like back in the day, right? There's a lot of, I mean, I know what it was like to be raised.
yeah. So you have your childhood versus your raising.
Right. My childhood versus the one that I'm trying to produce in a way for my child.
Well, you were with
Justin said we used to get whoopings.
And that is absolutely right.
Whoopings.
We used to get whooped for everything. We used to we break a dish, we got whooped. We got, you come in the house late, you got a whooping. You got a bad grade.
Whooping.
You peed on the toilet seat and didn't clean it up.
Whooping.
Whooping was the response for
And then after that, you get another whooping.
thing, right?
You ain't going to bed on time. Whooping.
There was
This
no
is-
conversation.
There's
There was
no
communication
conversation.
at all.
There's no
Yeah.
conversation at all. And
You ain't
so,
getting in the bathtub. Whooping.
and I'm not saying that there are
Okay.
parents like that still exist to this day.
Oh,
I got,
yeah. Oh,
I got
for sure.
whooped one time for leaving the shower on for like 5 minutes
Why was the shower on for 5 minutes?
because it was on.
Were you in there?
I wasn't.
Why'd you leave it
I
on?
was getting ready to shower.
He got
It
distracted.
took
with
5
something.
minutes for the shower to get warm.
Yes.
That's not true.
Yes, it
That's
is.
not true. You're not.
You don't know my shower.
I'm talking to young Remy right now. Can I talk
don't
to
know my
young
shower.
Remy? It didn't take that
But I got a
long.
whooping, is what I'm saying.
No, well, that's what we're saying. It did not like so. Oh, shit! Sorry, guys. It's the
all
phone.
good. It's all
fine.
good. We
It's
rolling.
technology. We're doing it. So there were not a whole lot of like it was the whole like biblical spare the rod,
Oh,
spoil
Jesus.
a child, like do
Yeah.
all that bullshit. But to me, in these days and times, like we're like a lot of that child rearing of like fear and intimidation, and you have to enforce respect on your children.
Yeah.
There's new ways of rearing kids. Like I
For
want my
sure.
kid to respect me. Sorry, not expect, but I want my child to respect me, but I want him to respect me because he sees that I respect him and
Right.
his
A
feelings.
mutual respect.
Right. And it's not like you're not about to run all over my house and be ridiculous with it.
So for
Yeah, there's still rules.
I don't know what I'm looking for, but you do not whip your son.
No, we don't hit.
We don't spar.
hit.
No,
hit.
I did.
At one point.
I never started off that way.
When did it change though?
No, so we started
Oh.
off never doing it.
Gotcha.
And I think
I was
when he
gonna
was
say.
about 3, he kicked me in my face.
Oh, shit.
He was having a hard time on the potty. He kicked me in my face and I slapped him and he slapped me back.
Oh.
And then I slapped him again. And then he started crying and I started crying. And I'm like, I just grabbed him up. It was on the potty. It was all around the potty. I grabbed him off the potty and I was holding him and I'm like,
Yeah.
we need to do something different.
Yeah.
And, I talked to his father about it because when his father and I was pregnant with him, we had a conversation about not spanking him. We agreed mutually to not spank him.
Yeah.
And his dad has never put his hands on him as far as
Yeah.
I know. And that was the only time that I spanked him. But regardless, I think the big difference is now is that we're trying to do things a little bit differently. And I know that I raised my son a lot differently than other people do. Like there's some people who still like, well, I won't hit him that much, or I won't hit him with this, or I won't hit him with a that. But I feel like me putting my hands on my son in a consequence manner is something that is I'm breaking his trust in a way. I don't expect him to be able to trust me the same way if I feel like I need to put my hands on him in discipline, because we tell him, don't you put your hands on anybody. You work it out. You figure out a way. How do I show him how to figure out a way if I resort to putting my hands on him? So I try to model the behavior. And I also, we'll probably bring this up at some other point, but I try to be sure that like, I'm not trying to act like I'm this great parent, because I make a lot of fucking mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
But one thing that I do that my parents never did is apologize. Did your parents ever apologize to you?
Never.
Can you think of one moment when your parents ever apologized to you?
Not to nobody in the house.
Nobody.
Nobody was apologizing to anybody in the house except the kids. The kids was apologizing to each other all the time.
Yeah, never.
Say you sorry. Boy, say you sorry. Stop playing.
You know what's interesting is I was whipped a lot.
Yeah.
But I have 4 nephews who I was the uncle at 17.
Wow. Okay.
And
that's
so
young.
So very young. And so boys are gonna be boys. They're gonna get into everything, gonna tear shit up.
Yep.
And my older sister used to call me all the time, but hey, I need you to come over and get these boys straight or whatnot. And I would
how?
And I would come over there,
but
I never needed to whoop them. I always was like this. I was stern. I gave them the look of like, I will fuck you up.
Right.
Like, you need to pay attention, listen, whatever. And they always straightened up. To this day, I can walk in and be like, yo, what's going on? Like, your mom called me. And these grown ass men at this point, and some of them my height, but I think it's a respect thing. And so I definitely would try my best not to whip my kids if I had kids, because I never had to do that with my nephews. But
there's
it
a
could
way.
be different,
It's a way, but I think it's also a very big difference. So there was 5 of us, and I tell my friends all the time, I understand. Like, it takes a lot of conversation and a lot of discussion. I have a very intelligent kid who wears me the fuck out. He wears me out. And you haven't seen us together much recently, but he's a lot.
I'm sure he is
a lot.
I'm sure
and it is really hard to like not. I mean, there's some times where I'd be like, if you don't get the fuck,
give me my space. Yeah.
And I don't know. It's we don't even know. Sometimes we be beefing. Me and like likes to be beefing.
Like, well, I don't fuck with you like that today. Leave me alone.
Right.
Leave me alone.
Listen, mommy is, but it's also one of those things where it's like mom's having like we can talk because I'm like, look, I didn't sleep well last night. Yeah, I have a hard day.
And you can do that when you open the door to communication.
When you have a relationship with your kids.
If you're willing to apologize, then you can communicate important things like, I can't fuck with you today, dog.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me and I won't fuck with you.
Yes. And I'm like, look, all that extra noise you're making this morning, it's a lot for mommy because I did not sleep very well last night. And so we can have those kind of, he's like, okay, mommy, right? Like we're there now. And he'd be like, Mom, I don't feel like talking. And I'm like, all right, we good. I'll save my comments to a point when you're ready to talk. But it's one of those things. I want a relationship with my child and I want him to be able to have relationships with other people.
It's going to be beneficial when he has to get older.
So,
for sure,
right?
100%.
That's what the long-term goal is.
I think long-term goal, not whipping your kids. But also, if you're not whipping your kid, you can't let them just run rapid and do whatever the fuck they want. Like, that's a bigger problem.
Yes.
So let's keep it moving.
Okay.
So last thing, then we move into relationship dynamics. I put down here porn.
Ooh.
Porn is everywhere now.
We went from magazines.
It's become socially acceptable to talk about porn, to do porn, to watch porn. I remember a point where porn was only able to be found in the back of the video store, or if you found your daddy's porn stash. Now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, so what are your thoughts
on
like on the evolution of porn and like how it's everywhere in our life?
It's ridiculous. Porn should not be this easy to access. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, especially if you got a problem, which I don't have a problem, but if you got a problem, Porn is
Have
a
you
problem.
have you had a problem?
No, porn is awesome. I like porn like in my life, but some people like especially.
So how do you know if you have a problem? I'm trying to.
I think if
I
you
don't
watch,
know. I don't have a problem.
I think if someone's watching porn every day, multiple times
Justin,
a day,
goodbye,
that's a problem.
If it's like all you do in your free time,
Sign out, Justin.
Justin has a problem.
Yeah, I think if you're doing
Justin
it,
is a problem.
I think if you
goddamn it. He
can't, I
gonna be
think
here
if you
next
can't
month.
if you can't get an erection or turned on without watching porn, that's a problem.
Okay.
If you have,
What
to
if you watch
it,
every day?
I think that's a problem.
I think that's normal.
Every day?
Yeah.
Watching porn every
I don't-
fucking
It
day
depends
is
on the
normal.
person. It depends on the person. Depends on the person. Depends on your
No,
life.
it doesn't depend on the
What you
person.
mean? Okay. So
I
hold on.
don't draw
Hold
a
on,
lot
hold
of
on.
hard lines.
So I'm gonna talk to you,
talk,
a mother,
talk to me.
real
Yes.
quick.
Yes, I'm listening.
Real quick.
I'm listening.
Mom.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
You're a mother, so
Mhm.
you don't even have as much access to porn as you think you do.
You don't think I do?
You don't. Do you have as much access to porn as I do?
Probably not.
Absolutely.
I don't know the places to go look.
Listen, I could walk off camera and just find something real quick and then come back. Like, I have ample time for it. I
Yeah.
have ample access.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got a kid to deal with, so you can't
So
necessarily
you have,
be
I have
porn.
my go-tos.
I know you do.
Oh,
Listen, I'm not saying you don't have
everybody does.
access.
Everybody
I know
does.
you know how to get to your shit if you
Right,
need it.
but it's-
Everybody
it's-
does.
it's-
Right.
it's the
Everybody
same
does.
shit.
Yeah.
So we're talking about me, but let's say we're talking about me, but like not in a relationship. So maybe no like regular access to sex, let alone
Twitter does have porn.
Twitter
like real
is
porn?
porn.
Yeah.
Twitter is porn.
No,
That's what-
you can't see all the stuff.
But yeah, I don't know if
You-
I don't know
you
if
can
watching
see a
porn.
lot.
Oh, you can see everything. I can go on Twitter right now. and
Like
show
a whole
you-
sexual intercourse.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
There's nothing.
Yes.
I mean,
No, I've seen
it's
like ass
evolving
and
though.
titties, but
I don't know what you
haven't
can see now because Elon has been changing some things.
Yeah, that's true. But I could watch porn every day, but not like I'm not like jerking off every day though. Like, oh, I'm gonna see a girl
Well,
rock.
but see, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can go
So
down
anyway,
a whole nother road.
So yeah, so porn
But
has
it's
evolved.
too
Porn has
accessible.
evolved.
I think it's
It
way
is
too
too
It is
much.
too
accessible.
acceptable. Too
There's too much
accessible.
porn.
Who's the hey y'all who just said hi? We need another name.
Tell us who you are. We don't know your name.
Yeah, absolutely you can.
Penetration.
I can go to my Twitter right now and show
I
you
see
some porn.
penetration.
I mean, I don't know.
I could.
But-
All right, keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving.
Okay,
Keep
okay,
moving.
fine.
Keep
All right, I'm
moving.
surprised right now.
So relationship dynamics, roles of men and women, they have
Oh,
evolved
Lord.
over time. So we're
Yeah.
gonna just do it as quick as possible, guys, because we are limited on time.
Okay.
All right. So my first comment is we went from seeing women being stay-at-home moms and secretaries to women being CEOs and business owners. Has this caused a imbalance in the home? I'm not saying it has or that it hasn't. I'm asking y'all your thoughts on women being more successful, being more business owners, and not just staying at home. Has it created an imbalance? And
What do you think?
I think that it has not. I think that we have just been slow to evolve the different dynamics and the roles, expectations. I think a lot of people are still holding on to very old traditional beliefs of what a role for a woman should be and what a man should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that
Especially
we
in
are
the Black
long,
community.
especially in the Black community. I think we are long past the old traditional roles. And I think that we need to step fully in, as Ebony likes to say, we need to lean into it and just embrace, like, okay, this is a new dynamics. Women are doing shit and doing good shit
it's
and
so
doing as much as the
interesting
men.
that you said that.
But we need to find a balance. We have to evolve it. So I don't think it's ruined it. I just think we failed to evolve faster.
So I'd like to talk about Monique's special just a little bit.
Okay.
One part of what she shared when she was telling her stories was that she needed to find a place to submit to her husband because she was on the third husband and she didn't want to fuck this one up. And she feels like the thing that fucked up those other relationships was her strength, was her being too fucking strong, running shit, trying to run a nigga. Even because she gonna make all the money. She's a comedian, successful comedian. Nobody she fuck with, unless she fuck with, a movie star or something like that, is gonna make more money than her. She's a star. So by her third marriage, she felt like she had to just find her place, is the way she put it. She had to find her place as a woman. And I thought that was interesting because you don't really hear that part of it talked about. Like, a lot of women are like, I am what I am.
I think if
You know what I mean?
I think if
There's no you're either the type that wants to submit or you're the type that's like, don't fucking tell me what to do.
I don't think there's money that makes a woman submissive though. I think if you lead with the belief that your money is what is the dominant role in your relationship, then you will always have these different aspects, right?
So I'd like to tap the mic.
No, go ahead.
For a moment, please.
Talk about it.
So I don't think that it has to be this either or. I don't think it has to be either we're in a place where I have to be submissive or a place where I have to be in a dominant role. Like the relationship that I have, there's not a, like, I think different people take a lead in different things where we're strong.
I agree.
Right?
100%.
Like when I
Change the
travel,
camera.
oh, it's a lot of people saying, hey, boo, hi, boos.
That was me.
Oh, you're
That's
saying
me.
hey, boo to those people.
Yeah,
okay.
that's me.
Okay. Hi, boos. So there's an opportunity for like, okay, you know what? You do very good at cooking and that's your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah.
You're good at logistics.
Which is being submissive in a certain way.
Why?
No,
Why is cooking being submissive?
No,
I
'cause
say
he's taking-
anything that
someone else
is-
takes the
is
lead, right?
service. Anything you do in your relationship that is service is technically a submission. You're
Okay,
submitting to your
okay.
partner.
But that's
You're
to your
doing
point
this
where
for
you're
your
saying
partner.
everyone has different roles.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like we don't, but it's not a one particular role. What I'm saying
I
is
agree.
like when we with like, you know,
Let
I don't
me tell you
necessarily
what I
say
like.
what.
Hold on, don't cut it off. Hold on, don't finish.
Well,
it
Well,
off.
what I was gonna say, okay, so you have someone who's better at planning things. So you take the role on
Right.
planning and logistics and getting everybody where they need to be, right? You do better on managing the finances. I'm not going to necessarily hand all my finances over to someone who's not a good
I agree.
person managing the finances.
Absolutely.
I don't necessarily want you to be on top of house maintenance if you fuck up the lawn all the time when you go out there. I actually enjoy doing my yard.
Don't go
I
out there.
actually enjoy.
Don't go out there and fuck up that grass, boy.
Don't fuck up my grass. I like doing my
Get your
lawn.
ass to the house.
Okay, I weed whack, I can edge, I can
Listen,
do all of
you
that
do the
shit.
dishes. I will be in
And
the.
that is what I'm talking about.
I'm rolling.
We talk about
Everybody
having
can do everything now. Yeah.
everybody can do different things. And I
Yeah.
think if we highlight the things, but we also work as a team. So
I'm
it's
with
not
you.
like I gotta take
Yeah.
care of the kids, I gotta work,
Yeah.
I gotta do all the housework, and all you gotta do is make money and come home. Like
Yeah.
nigga, fuck that.
Yeah, I don't
because
want
I
that.
also make money.
All
You know
right.
what I mean?
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
I was gonna
That's-
argue,
That's
but
to my point.
I'm with you.
You see what I'm saying?
Like if Monique is leading because she's making the money and she don't know how to submit in that particular role, then she's she's using the wrong category to be submissive. Because I think we all submit in different ways.
I think so too, but
Well,
I also
okay,
don't.
so-
I
so
think
let
we
me-
partner.
man.
But
So
so,
let me-
for me,
man.
I don't want to. I mean, I guess
So-
submission is part of it,
so
but I'm
here's-
like, I partner with you. I
So-
ain't
Yeah.
submitting to you.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I'm not bowing down
it's
to
a
you.
stupid
Right.
word. I think it's a stupid word.
Yeah.
I think it's a stupid word. Is it socially acceptable? Is it socially acceptable for men to be stay-at-home dads? Because we're talking about how much money women are making. Women are doing dope shit and running shit and making good money. But part of the roles have changed, right? Our daddies and granddaddies were all the ones working and trying to survive and support the family.
Can a man be a stay-at-home dad? Absolutely.
Can a dad be a stay-at-home dad?
I think when two partners look at their finances, if you don't make the most amount of money and maybe we have a young child and the child needs to be, taken care of, and daycare is fucking expensive.
It's a ripoff
It's like
for sure.
$2,000 when Langston was in daycare and it's gone up. It's $2,000 a month.
It's ridiculous.
It's very expensive.
Ridiculous.
So, if you're not making
I cannot imagine trying to pay $2,000 a month right now for
$2,000 a month just for childcare. We're not talking about extra expenses
Crazy.
as far because you also still have to pay fees and supplies and then buy them all of the other shit that they need. Like shit is expensive, right? So if it turns out that all of the childcare expenses don't really equate to what you would be making if you were out in the world, well then my nigga, stay home.
Stay home.
Stay home.
Stay home, my
If
nigga.
that's what you want to do. And I don't know. I think after it just all depends on the person's personality.
It does.
I don't know how long you'll be able to stay home.
She's like, nah, you ain't.
Me
you
myself
ain't stay at home.
personally,
Yeah.
like I don't know how long you'd be able to stay home, but like
I don't think I
Yeah, I ain't
personally.
staying home.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna get a better job. I ain't playing with you.
I
ain't
would
staying
say,
stay home with them kids.
I would stay at home because
Yeah,
I can't.
Could we work from home, but that's another topic. But yeah, I couldn't just stay at home and take care of the kids.
I did for the first year of Langston's life. I stayed home.
I mean, somebody should, especially at that time.
I loved it though. I actually loved it. I really did love but my son was very young. And I love the late night waking up. I nursed my son. So like waking up in the middle of the night where the world was quiet and it was
Can I
just
ask you a
me
question?
and him. Yeah.
Did you love it? Do you love it now or did you love it at the time?
I would love it now. I really, there's not a whole lot of ways I big up my son's father, but this is one particular way that I am very appreciative of the fact that he was able to support our family at the time. We're not together now, for those of y'all who all don't know me.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was very appreciative that he was able to hold down our family, and I stayed home with Langston for the first year of his life.
It's a beautiful thing.
I loved it.
For sure.
But it's different. It's not for everybody. I know some
everybody.
people who have kids the same age as Langston. They went back to work 6 weeks later. They their families work very differently. But
or they didn't have a choice. They
didn't have a choice.
Yeah. What's a role from say back in the day that you still implement in present day that you do? Not because you think it's a man's job or a woman's job, but because you just like doing it. So for example, for me, I think from back in the day is like, a man should always take out the trash.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Should pump the gas. Like I do that. I'm not saying I always pay for the gas, but
keep going. What else?
But if I'm riding passenger,
yeah,
and like I'm riding passenger, and she pull up to a gas station, I get out and I pump the gas. Not because I think that's a man's role.
Yeah,
I just like doing it. I like cutting grass. Like if I'm dating somebody, I'm serious about
like having a role.
Yeah,
I am also a very motherly person. Like my friends, I'm a motherly person. I like to make sure that everybody is having a good time and that they're okay.
Yeah.
Toya says that she cooks.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm mostly vegetarian. I cook all plant-based at home, so most people don't like what I eat. But
she's like, I got this quinoa.
I'm like, ooh, I made this like vegan chili. Y'all gonna have some? No, it's actually
What's the
very
meat?
good.
What's the meat in it? Ain't no meat in it.
Cauliflower.
Beyond meat.
Cauliflower meat.
Oh my goodness.
So what's a role from back in the day that you implement today?
That I would like to implement today.
That you do. That you still do naturally.
I do all the same shit you do. I fucking pump the gas, take out the trash, mow the lawn. Even though
he ain't got no fucking mow no lawn. He lives in a condo.
So my version of mowing the lawn is like cleaning up after the cat. She don't do none of that shit.
Yeah.
I deal with the animals.
Yeah.
From back in the day,
you fix shit too, though. You fix this.
I do be fixed. I don't look like I fix shit, but I be fixing shit.
I'm a fixer too. I'm a fixer too.
I'll be like, I'm not paying $3,000 for this.
No, I am. I'm the
same
way.
I can fix it.
It might take me 3 days to get it done, but I'm gonna get it done.
Listen, I'm gonna cut some motherfuckers out. I'm gonna throw some things, but I'm gonna get it done.
But I'm also like, I'm a homeowner and I'm a single woman. Like, I live here with me and my son.
What you fixed?
I fix everything.
What'd you fix though?
Let me see. The last thing I fixed?
Yeah.
I fixed some towel racks in the bathroom.
See, I ain't fixed no towel racks. No, I like it.
Okay,
I like it. I'm rolling. I haven't done that yet.
I fixed towel racks in my bathroom, rehang them up, recaulk stuff. Like I actually so remember when the hurricane came through, I caulked all of my outdoor windows, like recaulked all of that, sealed it all up. Recaulked.
Right on.
So
let's see your browser history. No.
So I think that like I think there are some great things from the past that we should implement.
Yeah.
Just do it because you want to do it,
right?
And don't get upset because this is what a woman's supposed to do. Or fuck that shit, man.
Chris Rock did a good joke about it in Tambourine. He said like when you're in a relationship, you're technically in the service industry. It's all about finding ways to serve your partner because ultimately that's why they're there. Yeah. And as long as y'all have that mutual interest. Also, he said you got to be fucking to stay happy, but that's a different story. So as long as you're making sure that this person is taken care of, they're gonna want to be there. And then if they're doing the same for you, then everybody should be good.
Yeah,
so for sure. How has femininity changed in our lifetime, in your opinion? How has femininity?
That's a wild question.
Changed in our lifetime, in your opinion?
Do you know the answer? Do you have an answer?
No, I have no answers. I'm not gonna mansplain femininity.
No,
go
I'm
ahead.
fine. I'm gonna go. So I feel
Jay got it.
That one of the ways that femininity has changed is I feel like women have become more masculine, right? And masculinity. And I think it's a great thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that like being more, women aren't as soft as they used to be. Our mamas and our grandmothers, personally, in my experience, and I think that's okay. I think that's a better balance of it. And I'll explain this when I come to masculinity, but I don't think women are as soft emotionally, and when it comes to how it used to be, men, for whatever reason, women seem very masculine in their energy. And we have masculine energy and we have feminine energy.
Yes.
So it's okay.
And I'm actually one of in my friend group, we took one of those tests like about math. And I think we said we were going to do.
Oh yeah, we did say we would do it, but we didn't do it though.
Talk about masculine. We don't have to do it today, but we can do it at some point in the next couple of weeks.
Interesting.
But there's a quiz that we did about masculine and feminine energy. And I am more masculine in my energy. Than some of my girlfriends. Like I'm okay, I'm gonna figure out how I can do this on my own before I ask somebody to help me with it or whatever. But I think that's also because my mother was that way. Like my mom is also I'm gonna ask you one time to help me, and then if you don't do it in the amount of time that I wanted you to do it in, I'm gonna go ahead and do it the fuck myself because I'm not waiting on you.
Your ass.
Not just that, it's like I want it done, and I'm not waiting on your timeline. You know, so I don't know, like. I think that there was like an aesthetic that was different back when our grandparents were, and like, you know, they dressed a certain way. And now we're like, I'm gonna dress how the fuck I feel like dressing.
I agree.
You know?
Women weren't allowed to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it was better back then.
Today,
I'm not saying
ain't nobody gonna let me do anything or allow
100%.
me to do any goddamn thing, right?
100%.
Like I do what I want to do when I want to do it, but I also am from a position of privilege, right? Like I have a decent job, I have my own home. I know. Okay, he's ready some bullshit. I know that I am in a position of privilege. There's not a whole lot of. I don't need. In my current position right now, I do not need anyone to live, right? I can sustain my life on what I make and what I have. So I don't require another person's assistance. Now, would my life be better with another income and another salary and
100%.
Another person? Yes.
But because of the position you're in your life, that means that you have to take on both roles. Not saying that your son's father is not there, because he is. But when you are there taking care of, like, you have masculine energy and feminine energy that you got to step into. There's no way around that.
That's right.
And I think that naturally, I think you do have that. You're going to have that masculine energy. You know,
you have a little bit of both, but I will also tell you that my son's behavior is very different with me than it is with his father.
Yeah, I can tell you all about that.
Very different. Like, and like I told you,
that.
he doesn't put his hands on him. He speaks him in a certain kind of way. He doesn't
knows
really
the
raise
line.
his voice very much or whatever. But it's a very different behavior with mommy.
All men have that relationship. I mean, girls have it too, obviously, but men definitely have that relationship with their father.
dads.
They know, like, I know the line with him. Can't do that.
No,
but
mommy, I'm gonna keep. I'm not eating that.
She ain't gonna do shit.
So so you're not gonna answer the question? You don't think
What's the question
about femininity? How it has evolved or changed?
That's a scary question, though.
Why? We're not being politically correct. We're not worried about cancel culture. We're just talking honestly about our lives and what our perspectives.
As soon as you asked the question, I started thinking about transgender shit.
Okay, tell me more. Say more.
See, I wasn't even thinking about that. But that's
how I thought about it. So I think being like, I don't know shit about transgenders. Let me just start off. I don't know anything. I don't know any transgender people, but my perception of it as a something in the world that we deal with and we talk about is they kind of like people who are trans, like women, I guess, have a definition of what they feel femininity is, and that's what they kind of gravitate towards. So like they have more feminine energy as a man than they do masculine energy. You know what I mean? Like it's overwhelming. It's like I'm a dude, but it's like I'm 90% woman.
Yeah.
I feel that shit. There's like 10% because I got a dick, but I don't really like it.
Yeah.
Like that's that shit.
They feel in their minds that they are feminine. They're how they view themselves in the world is very feminine. So
it's crazy. I mean, it's a lot.
I mean, that's another question. Is masculine and feminine the mindset? Is it or is it physical?
It's a construct, right?
I think it's nature and nurture. Like there's some elements of your masculinity that, I mean, you are born a man. You are born a woman, so that is nature. Like nature is binary. Nature don't give a
Yeah.
fuck how you feel.
Right.
But after you're on the earth and you like walking around, seeing what women are like, seeing what men are like, you're like, I kind of don't fuck with men. Like, I don't really like that genre of human being.
Right.
I want to be a woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, or I don't.
I'm about to get canceled.
No, you're not. Nothing you said was incorrect.
No,
Yeah.
or that you align, right? Like you align with what society is supposed to do about like men. So let me give you an example.
Yeah.
I have a 6-year-old. I was very intentional about not assigning gender to any of his toys.
Right.
We don't have boy toys. We don't have girl toys. We have fucking toys.
Yeah.
And we, he has Barbies. And I remember the very first time I think he has 2 Barbies. The very first Barbie he got, we gone to the store and he was like, oh, he had got done something well. And I told him he can get a toy.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you can get whatever you want. He decided he wanted a Barbie. I'm like, are you sure this is what you want?
Mm-hmm.
Even me with my progressive mind and not,
the thought
all
is
this
there.
different shit.
The
I'm
thought
like,
is there.
well, let's put it in the basket. And in case you want something else.
You change your mind.
Just in case you change your mind. And we put it in the basket, right? So we put it in the basket. He's like, oh, mommy, I want this toy. I really do want this one. I don't think I want anything else. And it was a white Barbie.
Listen, that's not hilarious, but that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And so I was like, my baby
Why?
can't. If
Why
he
you
got
want
his
this?
first
Like, hey,
Barbie can't be a
Emily,
white
Emily,
Barbie.
Emily, like,
Yeah.
all right, nigga, you can get the Barbie.
I can buy a Barbie.
At least get the tan Barbie.
Yeah.
Get the Native American Barbie.
So this was when Aladdin came out.
Wow.
The Will Smith Aladdin came
Yeah.
out. So I was like, can we get Jasmine? He was like, mommy, I like Jasmine. I'm like, okay.
Hey, there you go. Hey, you got to
So
do your
his
thing.
first Barbie ended up being Jasmine, right?
Yeah.
And I think he wanted like a Barbie cars. But the point of all of that was like, we don't assign gender to toys.
Yeah.
We try not to assign gender to clothes. But once he got to school and got to the playground, boys do this. And everybody's not raising their kid the way I am.
for sure.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, and that's one of the things we talk about regularly as well. Like, mommy and daddy are raising you in this one particular way. Whatever your toys are and whatever you're happy with doing, you're like, we try to remove these gendered things because it is a social construct.
For sure.
Right. So the more we can remove these gendered names and whatever the fuck else, like, it makes it more even. But sorry about that. Also know that it's not just him. He's got to interact with the rest of the world around him.
All right. We were short on time. So let's just do one more question. Unless y'all have something.
No.
I want to ask, how has because I asked about femininity.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's only fair to ask this question. How has masculinity changed in our lifetime?
I'll go first.
All right, let's go. She's ready. She's ready for that.
I'm ready for this one. Femininity, not so much. I feel like masculinity. I think people who ascribe to that masculine identity feel like there's some type of attack. I think people there's some type of attack on masculinity when it's like,
especially black masculinity.
Everything is an attack on masculinity in some way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but it's not.
It's not.
Why is it so fragile?
We're evolving.
Right? Why is it so fragile that every evolution feels like an attack? Why is your identity so fragile? Right? Because I know who I am. Like somebody's like, well, I don't want to offend. I think we talked about this. We talked about another topic, but like, you're like, I don't want to offend you. I'm like, but I know who I am.
Yeah.
And I know what I believe in. Right.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's an attack, but I personally feel like masculine, like even white men went like, oh, we can't be a white man anymore because white men are looked at as bad and we're so privileged. Like everything about being man or masculinity, from the outside looking in, y'all feel like there's some attack, but you know what it is? The attack that you are perceiving is the leveling of the playing field.
100%. 100%.
The playing field is being
disagree.
leveled. Patriarchy is being challenged. And so you feel like your masculinity is being challenged.
I don't disagree at all.
That's exactly what I said when Me Too was happening. I was like, this the balancing of the
Like
scales.
somebody's moving your fucking cheese.
Y'all gonna have to get mad.
And you don't know how to deal with that anymore.
And it's not
And,
that,
and only the motherfuckers is mad as the niggas is doing shit. Like
Yeah.
you're doing what you're not supposed to be doing anyway. Like
Yeah.
you know what you could do. Come on.
It's not like you have.
Can't even
you're not.
compliment a
You're
woman
not.
no more.
You're not getting less of anything. It's just
No.
even. So
It's
I
forcing
agree
you to be a better
100%
person.
with what you're saying.
Yeah.
With it, I feel like masculinity has evolved and changed. I remember at one point in my life where I was being called very metrosexual, and this is probably like 2000, 2010, 2011. Oh, Jay's very metrosexual. I didn't really care. I didn't have a. I like smelling good. I like getting my.
Does it smell good?
I used to like looking good, take care of myself, my appearance, and so I would call it metrosexual. But now I look at things, I'm like, yo, if I'm here, the playing field is way over here now, right? And so, but I don't get it. I don't get offended. I don't say, oh gosh, all these men are fucking feminine.
Right.
I just feel like if women have become more harder emotionally or whatnot, I feel like men have become step more into the emotional side of the femininity.
Absolutely.
Right. I think I personally think it's a good thing when we can talk about our emotions and our feelings and say, you know what, I need to go see a fucking therapist. That wasn't happening in the 80s or 60s or 90s. That's true. And so I think it's a beautiful thing that we are moving into that realm. But there are a lot of people who feel like it's being attacked, They're pushing the gay agenda on black men. No, they're fucking not. They're not. They're just allowing people to be represented.
Yep.
To say it's okay to be who you are, how you feel you are.
Yep.
Yes, it feels like it's an attack because black culture was not talking about this shit for the longest time.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now it's finally being able to be talked about and seen and shown. So we're seeing it more. It's not an attack.
But some people lean into it, like what you're saying. Like they lean in, like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I like my smell goods. I like to look good. I like to smell good. I like my shit to be crispy. But then on the other hand, there's other people who are like, I'm leaning into this, but this doesn't feel good. So there's like a push against it, right? Like there's something new, but I don't want to lean into it. So I'm going to push against it. Now everybody's attacking me. Like, fuck that shit.
And that's like one thing. So one thing I'm not comfortable that I'm still learning how to understand and deal with to Remy's point of transgender. Like I am a heterosexual male, but I am not at a place in my life currently where I am comfortable dating a trans woman.
Okay.
Right. And again, love is love. Be who you want to be.
So
like,
does it matter like post surgery or pre surgery? Just not at all.
Just not at all.
I could probably tell you.
Just not at all.
Pre surgery.
So listen.
Okay, tell me.
If I'm a man,
and I hope one day that I will get there. I think I will get there, but I'm not there yet.
If I'm a man out in the world and I meet a young lady, right, regardless of what she was born as, I meet a young lady.
Okay,
she's nice. We hit it off. We have a good time. However, if anytime during this meeting I sense masculine energy, like if her shit feels a little too strong, so if I see an Adam's apple, or if like I don't know, maybe
her hands or feet.
Maybe she goes into the men's bathroom.
Well, I don't think she would.
No,
maybe she would though.
She wouldn't.
Maybe she would.
Well, she may out of feeling for safety, right?
Whatever she does that makes me be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like if she can't trick me,
that thought,
then I'm gonna think about it. I'm like,
bro,
nah.
Come on, don't say trick me.
No, but you got to understand what I'm saying. She could tell me. She could tell me I was born a man.
Yeah.
In that time period. And if I'm like, that's crazy. Are you fucking serious? But if I'm like, yeah, I can kind of tell. If I can kind of tell the date is over, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
Shout out to those who can.
Yeah.
All right, man. I think we got
interesting. That was good.
Look, we got a lot of shit that we want to talk about. It's just impossible to get all that stuff in there. We have like job topic and conspiracy topics. Maybe we'll bring it back in another segment or whatnot, but it's just too much to talk about.
But we got Ebony all week. We got a lot to talk about.
We got all month. And so we are going to move into our last segment, man.
Right on.
Oh, this is the last one.
Our last one called Method Lesson.
Reading is fundamental. Now let's get on with this school thing. You teach.
So Method Lessons is
What the fuck is method lesson?
Is a segment where we talk about some shit that we learned recently.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing that I learned, shit.
Mm-mm.
You better have something for your segment, motherfucker.
Listen, okay.
You can't go all week and not plan something for your segment.
I had a word, but I didn't write it down. I learned that Monique likes pussy. That's what I learned.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
She said that in her special?
That's what I
So
learned.
she be going, what happened to the thing? Y'all?
Oh,
You printing shit?
no. Yeah, I'm
So Monique is
So she said that in her special.
She said it in her
She's
special that
bisexual.
she
She
likes
said
pussy.
she's bi. No, she said she like eating pussy, or she just said
She
she's like,
don't like eating pussy.
she like her pussy being ate. Gotcha.
Yes.
So isn't that different though?
I don't know.
It's
I don't know the
very
details.
different.
Isn't that
I don't know
very
the
different?
details, but
There's
ultimately,
difference.
so for her, this was like this huge secret
Yeah.
that she carried
For sure. No,
for
I
her.
mean,
And she told the story of why. Like it is this dramatic story about why. It's because like her grandmother was like one of her favorite people, and she was one of her grandmother's favorite people.
yeah.
But her grandmother's daughter, she didn't fuck with because her grandmother's daughter was a dyke. So she suppressed any and all of that, and definitely was not willing to talk about it until after her grandmother died, and then she talked about it in the special. And she talked about how she came out to her husband, told him about it, and obviously, dudes react the way dudes react.
They're like, oh, we could get
They're like,
three
well,
of you in
shit.
here when you want to bring her in.
Shit. So
Fuck you.
it was a good special. It was good. Like there's comedy in there, and I think there's parts of it that are funny that could be funnier, but
Yeah.
very good stories. Like
You know,
a very good way to get.
You
to
know,
know
sexuality is not a straight line. Like
No.
everyone says.
It's a spectrum.
Yeah. And women have way more wiggle room with that than what men do, right? There are plenty of men that would date
Like acceptability wise? Yeah.
There's a lot of men that would date a woman that's bisexual, but they're not. I don't know many women that would openly date a man that it says he's bisexual who have slept with a man. You know what I mean? So
well, that's because females being gay is more acceptable than males being gay.
yeah, based on the male construct that the men created. Method lesson, Ebony. What did you learn this week, or in general, since it's your first time on the episode on the podcast? It can be anything you learned all of 2023.
So one of the things that happened in the last week, and this is also kind of like news and also something I learned, was there was a law that was signed into law, which won't come into law until July.
Not the gun stuff.
Yes.
Oh, the concealed weapons.
Yes. So this is a Florida law where Ron DeSantis signed into law the opportunity for people to conceal carry without background check, permit.
It's crazy, man.
Or any type of gun license.
I already feel like Florida's the wild, wild west.
It
to begin
is.
with.
Yeah, I mean, and they're only doing, the supremacist work for them. Now, I'm sure that there are some other people. I'm not a gun person.
Yeah.
I do not want guns in my home. I do not want to become a gun person. But it's just one of those things where it's like another fucking Florida thing that we have to deal with.
Florida going Florida.
Florida is going to Florida.
It's shaped like a gun.
Because of this law, I am 100% getting a gun this year.
You're gonna get one.
I'm like, it's just too wild.
Shoot him before you shoot you.
Yeah, it's too crazy out here.
What do you think? Are you a gun person?
Yeah, man, I got guns.
Oh, you have
There's a
guns.
gun in every corner of this house.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
I'm not against guns. I just
I'm not. I
don't trust.
I am okay, or I feel fine with people who, if like,
No.
you choose to
I'm
do
not
it.
a gun person. I'm a person who feels like I need guns. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm not like, bang, bang. You know what I mean? I'm like, I think I might need these one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So.
My method lesson is a audio clip. I'm gonna play really quickly. Let me stop this.
We've been going for almost 2 hours.
I know, because we all been talking.
It wasn't me.
It's a lot to get into.
It wasn't me.
What is happening?
You gotta log into Facebook.
No, it's not even be Facebook.
It should be TikTok.
Cancel. Just play.
You said, I'm paraphrasing, and you said, I'm paraphrasing, but you said, be clear about your intention and the universe will rise up to meet you wherever you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that intellectually.
Yeah.
I've read that in books, and I knew it intellectually. But now, what I know now that I did not know then is that the universe really does rise up to meet you wherever you are. And I got chills just saying that because my life is so different than it was back then. It's so different. Like, I just laugh about some of the things that the way my lifestyle used to be. I just laugh at it because I can't imagine I did it for so long, but it's just funny. I would let.
So my question, so that was India.Arie. I don't know when she was on Oprah's Oprah's show or whatnot, but I was thinking about how everything has changed in our lifetime, right? Based on the topic we were talking about, and thinking about what India.Arie and Oprah just said, that the universe will rise to meet you. What is something that has changed about you, let's say in the last 10 years, where you were clear about your intentions and the universe met you, and now you're like, damn, I actually got that in my life right now. Is there anything you can think of in the last 10 years about that? Anything. So I got to think on it. I'll say for me, like, I remember a point in my life in the last 10 years where I was really frustrated with life. I was frustrated with people. I had low self-esteem. It was right around 30. I'll say 29 to 30.
Mm.
And I was just like, my self-esteem wasn't good. And I was like, man, I gotta do better. I want to be this kind of person. I want to have this kind of esteem. I want to know my worth. I want to know my value, right? I don't want to be the frustrated person anymore, right? And I just focused on like my intentions. So this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. This is what I don't want to be. And now I look at my life. I'm like, man, I'm all those things that I didn't want to be. Like I achieved them, and so it feels good to be able to look back and see, like, man, I was actually struggling this time, but now I have all the things, or not all the things, but a lot of the things I wanted to be. I'm there.
Well,
and the universe, met me where I was with my intention being clear. So that was an example for me.
I think after my breakup, so Ian, like his father and I separated when 2019. And I feel like there was definitely a period of like, like that whole decompression from being in a long relationship and a heavy relationship. There's no desire. But then I started doing a lot like therapy and self-work of like healing and then opening my heart. So you had to heal it first and then open. And I was, I went through this yoga teacher training and got certified. And there's just a lot of hard work involved in that. There's a lot of hard work also involved in that. And like in the midst of all of that is when I met Sterling. And I felt like it was like, this is the right moment, right? Like earlier or later, it may not
Sterling
have been.
is her new friend.
I'm say my new friend.
Well,
we've been together for
a while,
a year and 9 months.
That's your
the person she's been
That's
with.
your boo.
You said Sterling, like people know who Sterling
That's
is.
your
So
boo.
I'm just trying to explain.
You should know this. You should know.
That's your boo.
Sterling is significant.
Yeah, I know this. I know this. But anyway, yes.
That's Ebony's boo.
So, but at that time is when, like my heart was in a good place, right? So I did the work and it wasn't like I was like, I need this man, I need this person, I need this whatever, but it was like, I need the love in my life that is personified in this particular way. And then once my heart was healed, like I felt like that was something that kind of came in unexpectedly. It wasn't something I was looking for or active, but I was also doing the preparation on myself. What about Remy?
Remy Mulatto.
What's the question?
I'm not repeating it.
Heart work.
Come on now.
No, what did you manifest almost? Like, it's like, what did you put in place?
This podcast.
Is this podcast a manifestation of your dreams?
I mean, it's not a manifestation of my dreams because I didn't always want to be a podcaster, but it is a manifestation
of.
So like I consume a lot of podcasts and I've thought about like doing something like podcasting and I hadn't really found what that was. Like I don't like posting shit on social media like that. I don't like being on TikTok. I don't like being on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't even like being on Facebook, but that's where all my people are, so I got to be on there. Whereas this is kind of like a type of social media, but it's like I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy sharing it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so I'm doing a podcast.
Very good. We're here.
We here. We here.
We here. We were here.
Hey,
we're
man,
going home.
we are going home. For everyone who joined us, we appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all. We promise it won't always be 2 hours, but sometimes the conversation just is good.
Whoa.
And we got a lot to talk about and a lot
Y'all
to try
was
to get
talking
off.
too much. God damn.
Hey, we just got to talk, man. We just got to talk. Sometimes it be like that. Next week, we are talking about petty shit.
Ooh,
Petty.
We're talking about petty please, petty please, petty please. So join us and bring all your petty shit to the conversation because we want to hear it. And your drinks. They say the liquor make you talk quicker. We say M is for mostly. E is for everybody. T is for talking. H is for
honestly.
O is for
I don't
over.
know.
And D is for drinks. Hey,
Drinks.
Trust the method, y'all. Till next week. Holla. In that shit. Come on. He's struggling. He's struggling.